What's up, dirty dog?
What's up, everybody? Good morning. I don't know why, but that really still makes me laugh. I mean, Coming to America is such a fucking fantastic movie. That scene is great. It's great to see everybody. Good morning. Happy Taco Tuesday. Thank you, Mike. It's good to see you. Hey, Kevin. Yeah, guys, we're live. We'll see what's going on here. We got the agenda screen, and it is hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? Need a flapper for your shitter? You mean like a toilet seat? Go to Home Depot. That'll help you out. Oh, perfect timing, Billy. Look at this. Perfect timing. Oh, let's see. We got some
everyone.
Workers.
This is the regularly scheduled meeting of your Los Angeles City Council.
Let's go.
Today is Tuesday, the 29th day of April in the year.
Let's go.
My name is Marquis Harris Dawson. I serve as
Marquis.
president of this council. Public comment will be taken in person in this chamber for today's meeting. Mr. Clerk, let's begin our
Can't be
proceedings
done any
by
other
calling
way
the
because
roll.
you stole that,
Yes,
you
Mr.
communist
President.
pig.
Blumenfeld, Harris Dawson, Hernandez,
Can't do that on the phone anymore,
Jurado,
pig.
Lee, McOsker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of April 25th, 2025.
Councilmember McOsker moves. Councilmember Hernandez seconds. What's next?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Park moves. Councilmember Hutt seconds. What's next?
Mr. President, today is Tuesday and it's time for the flag salute.
All right. I'll ask everyone in the chamber to rise and
Does
follow
he need
along
him
with
to
Councilmember Lee
remind him that it's Tuesday? Or
for the Pledge of Allegiance.
does he just say it because he
Thank you,
just
Mr.
says it?
President.
I
If
mean, I need to
everyone can
know.
face
Need a
our
little
country's
more
flag,
info.
put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Look at his hair in the back.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with
Stick it up
liberty
in the
and
back.
justice for all.
Bro got the cowlick. Got his hair cut over this
All right, Mr.
weekend.
Clerk,
They went
let's
too
run
deep on
through
it.
Today's
Now it's-
agenda.
Mr. President, there is a request to continue item 1 to Tuesday, May 13, 2025. There's
Without
also
objection. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's also a request to hold item 44 on the desk and to hold item 16 for closed session.
All right. Without objection, that'll be the order on both of those. What's next?
Items 1 and 2 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 3 through 34 are items for which public hearings have been held. Pursuant to Council Rule 77, no action can be taken on item 16 today. The Rules, Elections, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee report relative to proposed changes to Council Rules 7 and 63, and each proposed amendment to the Council Rules shall be presented to the Council today and laid over for 1 week to Tuesday, May 6, 2025 for adoption. Items 35 through 49 are items for which public hearings have not been held. Item 50 is a closed
Come on.
session item for which public hearing
Allie.
has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
All right.
Oh,
Without
Moxie,
objection,
I
those
did.
items are before
Good
us.
morning,
I'll
Moxie.
at this time call for specials from members. On my left, the west side of the horseshoe, Councilmember
Yeah,
Hutt.
Allie, all the emojis you put
Thank
up, well,
you,
most of
Mr.
them,
President.
Twitch made me, or
I'd like
they
to call
removed them
items
forcibly.
21, 22, and 23, and move to adopt the Transportation Committee report for all of these. I believe a motion is being circulated.
Anything
Okay.
that had to do with
Mr.
smoking, they
Seconded by
took
Mr.
them
Lee.
down.
Excellent.
you.
I got a
Councilmember
tech,
Jurado.
or like
Thank
6
you, Council
emails,
President.
one
I'm
for each
introducing
one that
an
they took
amendment
down.
for item 12 and a substitute motion for item 15 that will circulate shortly. And I would like to make comments for item 15.
All right. Any others on this side? Mr. Lee.
Mr. President, item number 42, special for technical amendment. We need to change the date. It's listed as May 2nd, and we're changing it to May 10th. And
Okay.
then item number 45.
It's not your fault, Allie. Don't say
Councilmember
sorry.
Nazarian
Thank you
asked
for.
if I could
I
call
feel
it
bad
special
because you
for
wasted your
comments.
time
Got it.
now
Okay.
for all that hard
Any
work.
others? Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President.
They don't
I'd
want
like
me,
to call
a
items
cartoon
8,
character of me
item
holding
8
a
for
cat
comments,
smoking a joint.
And
It's a cartoon.
29, 31, 32, 33, 34,
Hi,
and
Terry. Good
35,
morning.
special for a separate vote.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, as long as they
Councilmember
don't have
Jurado.
weed in them, I guess they're all right.
Thank
They're
you
cracking
again,
down
Council
now on
President.
Twitch.
I would also like to call items 17 and 40
least people
special
like
for
me.
a separate vote.
Not the chicks
All right.
half
Any others on
naked in
this side?
jacuzzis.
All right. Councilmember Park.
They're all just fine.
Council President, I'd like to call item 24 special for an amendment. It's about to be circulated.
Circulating?
But in all
24, okay.
fairness, I'd rather
Councilmember
see
Price.
half-naked chicks in a jacuzzi than see myself also. So, I mean, I don't know how to look at that.
All right. Councilmember Soto Martinez.
I get it.
President,
I
I'd like
understand.
to flag item number 21, 22, 23, and 40 for separate vote, please.
All right. Any others on Councilmember Padilla?
Yes, I would like to ask, call special item 3 for comments, number 8 for comments, and
Where Stinks, he's
item
eating.
45, I have a
He
friendly
just ate
amendment
before I
circulated.
started.
Okay.
Should be about done here.
All
Rolling
right.
in any
Any
moment.
other specials
Probably
members?
licking the top
All right. Seeing
rim
none, Mr. Clerk, what's
right
before
now.
us?
Make sure there's not a
Mr. President,
a
the council may now
morsel
vote on
left.
items 4 through 7, 9 through 11, 13, 18 through 20, 26 through 28,
I assure
and
you-
item 30.
Oop, there he is. Just
All right,
like
those
I
items
said,
now
here he is.
8, and item 30.
Sorry about that, guy.
All right. Those items are now before us. Let's open the
14 ayes.
Yeah, Stinks is a
right,
part of the
what's
clean plate
Mr. President, the council
club.
may take separate votes for items 31, 32, 33, and 34. Call special by Councilmember Hernandez for separate vote.
All right. Councilmember Hernandez, can we hear all of those together? All right. All right. So let's Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Do 31 separately, please.
31 separately?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Clerk, let's roll on those three.
And for the record, that's items 32, 33, and 34 being considered at this time.
All right. Let's open the roll on those items. Close the roll. Tabulate the votes.
Big baby.
13 ayes, 2 noes.
All right. What's next?
The council may now
Grote's
vote on
probably in
item
court.
29. Call special by
Remember, he's the
Councilmember Hernandez
deputy
for a
city
separate vote.
attorney. He's probably
All right. Let's open the roll on that
You know,
item.
fighting
Close
a
the
lawsuit.
Roll, tabulate the vote.
that's being, waged
12 ayes,
against the
3
city.
noes.
All right. What's next?
The council may now vote on item 31. Call special by Councilmember Hernandez and Soto Martinez for a separate vote.
All right. Let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
Stinks, your Lord and Savior.
14 ayes,
Oh, okay,
1
yeah.
no.
All right. What's next?
The council may now consider item 3. Call special by Councilmember Padilla for comments.
Councilmember Padilla.
Padilla, is she going to sniff?
So good morning, council members. I want to start off by thanking Councilwoman Rodriguez for introducing this motion and elevating this issue in committee. You know, as a fellow council member representing the Valley, we are always cognizant of how our dry climate coupled with high winds makes our communities further susceptible to wildfires. As many of you know, Council District 7 was impacted by the Hearst fires, and my district was also impacted by a fire at the Sepulveda Basin.
And still nothing
But thanks
done.
to the work that we did the previous summer, we avoided a lot of tragedy there when the winds arrived.
Yeah, it seems.
But it is evident
everybody.
that what January 2025 windstorms showed or demonstrated is that our city must further reinforce fire mitigation efforts. This motion instructs LADWP to report back on a current map of all underground and above-ground
She doesn't look
utilities in
pretty
very
today.
high fire hazard severity zones, as well as asking them to look into the feasibility of transitioning more power lines underground.
She does golf.
But what I want to elevate today, and had also elevated in the E&E committee before it was waived, is that the criteria for this tiered system for undergrounding power lines needs to be considered. Consider further risk factors. Just because certain communities might not be categorized as very high fire hazard severity zone does not mean that those communities are not susceptible to wildfires or other sort of tragedies if we avoid undergrounding. For example, the Valley Generation Station is surrounded by various transmission lines that cut right through communities, residential communities like Sun Valley on Ilex Avenue. No buffers, just dirt and rock. These towering transmission lines are meat feet away from people's homes. We can do better. So again, if we are going to start the conversation of transitioning power lines underground, we cannot allow LADWP to further neglect communities like Sun Valley, so I ask for your aye vote.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
I
you so
agree,
much.
Bracelet.
Seeing no other comments, thank you, Councilmember Padilla. Let's open the roll on this item.
It's these
Close the
puppets
roll,
that keep the
tabulate the
grift
vote.
going, too. That's why I say there's
15
plenty of people
ayes.
that are smart of every type
what's
of
next?
race and ethnicity.
Mr. President, the
They don't
council may
want
now
the
vote
smart
on item
ones.
17.
They want the
Called
puppets.
special by Councilmember Hurtado for a separate vote.
Someone that'll come in and
All
do
right.
as they say.
Let's open the roll
what they
on
want.
17, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
It's really why you have the problems. It's
14
not about
ayes,
hiring
1 no.
somebody of a certain race or ethnicity.
Councilmember
It's
Hurtado,
about
I imagine
having a
wants to be recorded
puppet
as a
from
no
there.
vote.
Yes, exactly, Council President. Thank
Remember
you so
that.
much.
And for the record, the vote would be 13 ayes and 2 noes. The ordinance will be held over to Tuesday, May 6, 2025 for second consideration.
All right.
Why do I hear
what's
them
next?
talking? Old
The
sidebar.
council may now consider item 8, called special by Councilmember Hernandez and Padilla for comments.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Third grade of reading.
Council President. Good morning, colleagues. Today I rise to speak about an issue that pushes working families in the city of Los Angeles into despair: medical debt. Medical debt is a leading cause of financial hardship in our city,
They're burdened.
forcing families to choose between their health
Medical
and their basic
burden.
needs. Healthcare workers would tell you that medical debt is also a public health issue. The fear of medical bills leads to delayed care, which worsens the health of Angelinos
Hi,
and puts
Jonathan.
families in tough situations. Despite the impact of medical debt on our constituents' quality of life, there is no public data on how hospitals collect medical debt or the financial aid that patients are denied. In August 2024, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to move forward with the new ordinance on this matter. The ordinance adheres to HIPAA guidelines and requires hospitals to report data on debt collection, financial aid assistance, and patient accounts sent to collections. The motion before you would bring the city of Los Angeles in line with that county ordinance. It directs the city attorney to draft an ordinance authorizing the LA County Department of Public Health
They all are,
to collect
Golf.
medical debt data and financial assistance activities within the city at no additional cost to the city. We can't fix what we can't see. This data can help us as policymakers make informed decisions about addressing medical debt in the future. Thank you, Councilmember Padilla, for seconding this motion. Colleagues, I'm asking for your support on this motion to help the city address medical debt transparency. Let's put ourselves in a position to help more of our constituents climb out of medical bills. Thank you.
Man, you guys are
Thank
roasting
you so
her
much,
hard.
Councilmember Hernandez, Councilmember Padilla.
Early
Let's open the
morning
roll on
roast.
this item.
Warm in here.
Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
What's up, Sarah? Just getting
15
warmed up
ayes.
while the roasting in the chat.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 15, called special by Councilmember Hurtado for comments.
Councilmember Hurtado.
Oh, the cop hater.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, I rise today to request that item number 15 regarding a project in my district be sent back to the Plum Committee with special instructions. This issue pertains to a large fake tree cell tower along the main business district in Eagle Rock with a long-standing Colorado Boulevard specific plan. The project requires a specific plan exception to be heard by the East Area Planning Commission, but it was stopped in its tracks from that due process by a letter from planning stated the project was, quote, deemed approved, quote, by operation of law. This means the project is approved as applied, no conditions, no mitigation measures, and without even so much as a public hearing with the East Area Planning Commission because the decision-making deadline expired before action was taken on the project. The motion outlines numerous mistakes that were made leading to this result and calls for the letter to be rescinded and the project put back on the path of due process. After the Plum Committee recommended we note and file the motion, my constituents shared with me some very compelling information that was not available at Plum. There seems to be abundant case law that says even when a shot clock applies, the legally required due process, including a hearing by a legitimate decision-making body, must still occur. And because that due process did not, this project was not eligible to be deemed approved. Protecting due process is a very serious issue in these times, and usurping legally required due process related to a discretionary decision is very unsettling to me.
You want
In
due
my
process,
review of the
huh?
issues, I do not believe this project is eligible to be deemed approved and that we must allow due process to occur.
Huh.
This was the first time in Los Angeles history that a project was ever deemed approved in this way. And if the city had acted on the application on time, we wouldn't even be here. So if the project does, in fact, qualify to be deemed and approved and is ultimately built, My constituents deserve to know for certain that this outcome was legally unavoidable, because this fake tree cell tower will stand in the middle of their main business corridor for decades to come. In light of this, if even one question remains about whether we made an error by allowing the project to proceed deemed approved without the legally required public process, I believe our public deserves our greatest effort to get to the bottom of it.
Like you do every day here.
Therefore, I move that the matter be amended to adopt the recommendations before you. This item is time sensitive because building permits have been issued, and I'm sure the applicant is as anxious for surety as my constituents are. So I recommend your aye vote, colleagues, on this. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much,
I'm gonna pause
council members.
really quickly for just 1 second. So you want due process when you want it, but every day you knock out the due process for the citizens that you're claiming to be protecting. Got it. Here they can't even speak, but you need the due process now over a fucking one cell phone tower. Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Just needed to figure out what was going on.
Speakers on this?
Crying
Councilmember
about
Rahman?
not having due process,
Sorry, what?
like the public
I was at the
every
Plum Committee when
day
this item was heard.
isn't afforded
Councilmember
by
Jurado,
you and your constituents,
and
your buddies.
You know, I think we, members of the Plum Committee, felt a very, very intense empathy for neighbors who came in and testified about how failures by the city violated the process that we were facing, violated the process that was set in place for approval of a facility like this. What we also heard in the Plum Committee was that because the city had not met those requirements, the legally required timeline had passed. And so we had very little option but to do what we did in the Plum Committee, which was to note and file. That came from advice from the planning department and from the city attorney in the committee. I know this is really frustrating, so I just want to make sure if we could take a moment before we vote on this item. I'm not quite following what Councilmember Jurado is asking us to do today. I want to make sure that I understand, and I want to make sure that the Plum Committee chair also, who was, you know, I think we were really trying to make sure that we were able to respond to community feedback, but felt like what we did was what was possible for us. So I'd love to be able to take a moment to just understand that before we move ahead with this vote.
And so we want to hear from planning on this?
We should...
or just take a beat before we take a vote on it, so that...
We should show up 100 deep and do the wave in the
back.
back.
I don't know that they're here today. Councilmember Blumenfield, I also just want to make sure that you... I know you're the chair of the committee,
So we'll hold it until after public comment, but Councilmember Blumenfield?
What up, Ubar?
Why don't we do it after public comment?
Okay, so we'll hold it, Councilmember Jurado, Councilmember Rahman, we'll hold it until after public comment.
Councilmember Jurado.
Okay. All right, what's next?
Right, Shell.
The council may now consider item 21.
You know why? Because that's
which
something
is,
they care about
which
for whatever reason. They didn't get their cut from the people that put that up.
Has been introduced.
Those people
to
told them to
adopt the
fuck
Transportation Committee report and called
fuck
special
off,
by
huh?
Councilmember Soto Martinez for a separate vote.
All right, let's
I'll
open
even
the
it
roll
up
on
with
this
you.
item. Close the roll.
This is a...
Fuck me? No.
11 ayes, 4 noes.
All right,
That's
what's
what
next?
that is right there.
The council may now consider items 22 and 23, for which motion Lee has been introduced.
All right, let's open the roll on those items as amended. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes, 2 noes.
I didn't get a harumph out of two
All
of
right,
those guys.
what's next?
The council may now consider item 25, called special for comments by Councilmember Padilla.
Moose, thank you for the
Councilmember Petty.
49 months.
Impressive.
I'm sorry, this is for item 8?
Thank you, Moose.
Item
49.
25.
Special
yes.
for Councilman. Was
Ow.
it Padilla or Hernandez?
Appreciate you, Moose.
I'd like to reconsider 22 and 23. Or be recorded as a no
Me
vote.
too,
for
Sig.
those, actually.
Okay.
Never mind.
All right.
Yeah,
let's,
thank you. Sorry.
Let's deal,
Really
thank you
is
for
a
that.
good
Let's do
movie.
it 25.
In fact, it's the
you didn't have
best
comments on 25,
movie
so
that
we can
Cheech ever made
proceed and vote
besides
on
any of the
25?
Cheech and Chong movies.
Okay. All right.
His best
let's
solo
open the roll
movie.
on this item. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
I mean, Shrimp on the Barbie was okay.
15 ayes.
Mr. President, for the record, for items 22 and
That was the
23,
best
the
one.
vote is 12
Hands
ayes
down.
and 3 noes.
Got it. And that includes Councilmember Hernandez as a no vote.
That is correct, sir.
Got it, okay. What's next?
The council may now proceed to public comment.
All right,
Here we
let's
go.
read the Councilmember Bloomfield.
Here
Thank you. On
we
44, there's an amendment that was circulated. It's a technical amendment, so I think we could take that up.
This is an item for which public hearing has not been held, so it will be taken up after public
Okay,
comment.
but, so noted that it was called special while I was out, but it was for an amendment that has been circulated. That is a technical amendment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bloomfield. Councilmember Hernandez, I got your name on the board. Was that to be recorded as a no vote?
For 32 and 33, for 22 and 23 to be recorded as
Got it.
no's.
So that's been done. Thank you. All right, we can prepare for public comment. City Attorney, Mr. Clerk.
Yes, if I could have just one moment, Mr. President, I'm looking over the
It's
amendments.
gonna anger my CHP bros. I love you guys. Y'all didn't give me a mug. Fake news. Nothing but fake news here. That's how they do it. All right, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for, or without any further ado, it's time for
Round 2.
This is bullshit. It's like Cypress Hill concert in here.
Smoke.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi,
To members
Matthew.
of the public who wish to provide public comment, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to.
Never
You will have
forget,
1 minute
Matthew.
per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment.
Oh, there he is.
When speaking on the agenda items, you
Maybe
must
he was
be
taking
on
his shit
topic.
out back.
Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can.
Busy taking his
If you are
shit.
not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment on the agenda are items 2, items 35 through 49, and item 50. Again, the items that
Yes,
are
guy.
open for public comment on the agenda are items 2, items 35 through 49, and item number 50. For anyone who would like to see the amendments that were introduced, I've been informed that they have been posted on the bulletin board on the right-hand side of council chambers.
His hair
Members
doesn't
of the
look
public
bad.
may also speak for
A
up to
little
1
bad
minute
in
for
the back
general
over
public
here.
comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the items or
little bit in
anything
the
else in
back.
a city's subject matter jurisdiction. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on, I have a couple more announcements if I could have the interpreters make this one aloud to the room. If you require a Spanish language interpreter, please make sure to pause every few sentences so the interpreters can interpret.
Si requiere traducción para español, por favor pausen después de cada frase para darle al intérprete tiempo para traducir.
Yeah, they got rid of that
Don't
other
worry,
chick.
we will pause your time while the interpreters are doing their job,
interpreter.
so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else.
Even
no
you
se
guys
preocupen, les
said she was
pausaremos el
ad-libbing.
tiempo mientras el traductor está hablando, entonces recibirán la misma cantidad de tiempo que las otras personas. Gracias.
Can't be ad-libbed, man.
One more final announcement. We do use, please wait until you hear your name called before lining up for public comment. The selection is at random, so you don't have to line up in the
Sure
order in
it
which your
is.
name is called, but we'd ask, in order to facilitate as
Random.
many people as
Show us the
possible in the
randomizer.
time that we have, that you wait until you hear your name
Show
called.
us.
So
Just-
once
I
you
wanna
hear your
see a
name called,
picture of it in
feel free to
action.
line up in any
20-second
order on the
video on
left-hand side of
TikTok.
council
Put it up.
chambers. Thank you.
Let's see it at work. I want to see it. I'm calling bullshit. I think you're lying. There is no randomizer. That's why these people have to use false
I will
names.
now call names to speak. Jake Sadiq, Wendy Salvador, Greg Zawalski.
You know, they all have to use fake names in order just to be called, because if they put their regular name, they know that they're going to be called last, if called at all. And that's honest. Even Daniel Gus. I bet you if Daniel was in there and used his
So I see
regular
a couple
fucking
people
name.
making their way to the podium.
Look at the guy
Again,
back there,
you do not
like,
have to speak
orchestrating
in
them
the
to
order
hold
in
their
which your name
signs
is
up.
called. So once you hear your name, feel free to line up in any order.
It doesn't matter. Anybody who opposes them. You see the guy back there? You see him?
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak
Telling
to?
everybody to hold their signs up.
This is item 45 regarding film production permits in Los Angeles.
Ah, film
Okay, so you have
production.
1 minute for the
They
item.
ran that out of
Hello,
the
my name is
the
Greg
state.
Zukowski. I'm a member of the Directors Guild of America, the TV Academy,
Okay.
California United to stay in LA, and I represent a group of people trying to catch up Los Angeles and the state of California with our permitting process, our
Green
incentive
shrimp and
program, and all the related bureaucracy that's built up over the years or has stayed behind. There was a great meeting yesterday in Sacramento where they talked about the incentive program, and Los Angeles now with item 45 has a chance to get ahead of a situation where we are no longer competitive in the marketplace. And by no longer competitive, I can tell you as someone who's lived here since 1990, 89 I moved here, I haven't worked in Los Angeles in 2 years. I've got 35 years in the business at what I do. And what that tells me is that we need to readdress what we're doing. And I think this is a great major step forward. And I want to thank Councilman Nazarian and his team for making this possible. And I think I have 1 second. So thank you guys very much.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'm here to make a general comment.
They are.
So you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jake.
Yeah, I can do it,
I'm a
Mossy.
student at the USC School of Social Work studying public policy. I'm here today to bring to your attention some vulnerable tenants in our city who are being exploited in cash for keys schemes, particularly in Koreatown, where many buyouts have occurred, targeting residents who may not be aware of their rights or experience language barriers. Particularly, there's a person in the city named Eduardo who had a $900 rent-controlled apartment, and he was offered $50,000 to vacate. And I'm here to bring attention to these schemes, which have occurred in high numbers and may occur more now that we're experiencing a recession. I wanted to urge this body to strengthen tenant protections by requiring multilingual notification of tenant rights and creating a registry to track these offers. And yeah, just protect the most vulnerable in our city. Thank you for your time.
Before the next speaker speaks, I'd like to call up more names. George Buzzetti, Isabel Galbraith, Henry Munguia.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning, City Council. I would like to speak to item 16. My name is Wendy Salvador, born and raised in South LA. It is an honor to be here speaking before you on behalf of our South Central LA youth. As a parent, I think it's very important that our students are involved with our community. We teach our children to speak respectfully, to lead and to contribute to their community. When they come to City Hall, they should not be exposed to racist, hateful, and derogatory language from public speakers.
Swastika.
These words cause real harm
Crazy,
and
bro.
take away from the important work our youth and our community are trying to do. We are asking you to protect this civic space, to make it a place where youth can grow, learn, and be inspired. Thank you for hearing our concerns and standing with us for a respectful City Hall. Thank you.
I think she's talking about Mr. Herman. Thank you again, Taylor. Shout out to you in Scotland.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Isabella
Does he
Galbraith,
wear that
and I'm
out-
here to speak in favor
out
of
of here?
item 16.
I don't think so.
As someone who cares
Maybe he
deeply
does.
about civic
Who knows?
engagement, it is disheartening to walk into council meetings and witness language that dehumanizes and intimidates people, especially targeting communities that have historically been silenced. When slurs like the N-word or the C-word are used in this space, it doesn't simply offend. It sends a message that certain people don't belong here. This isn't about silencing viewpoints. It's about drawing the line between free speech and hate speech, because no valid point requires racial or gender-based slurs. If this council truly values public input, it must create a space where people feel safe and respected. These chambers should set the standard for how we disagree without demeaning and debate without hate. Please adopt these real changes and lead by example. Thank you.
I'd like to call up more names. Emily Salazar, Dayanara Mugia, Robert Polson.
Robert Paulson, doesn't he play for the A's?
Morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning, council members. I'm here to speak in favor of item 16. My name is Henry Munguia, and I live in Los Angeles. I believe that places such as these should encourage a civil and professional environment where everyone is able to speak and feel without hate or anger. Thank you.
What should they give these kids to come in here today? Oh, it's the crazy guy that was on Audit LA. Shout to Audit
We get
LA.
to speak directly to item 16. Question?
This guy had a new story, longest story ever.
Can we speak directly to item 16?
Hold on just 1 second, sir. Your time has not started. I will let you know when it has. Okay. Yes, and for clarification, public comment is also open on item 16. So yes, you can speak to item 16. Are there any other items you'd like to speak to?
No. 16 in public comment.
So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Okay. Item 16.
This fool's mask on.
New York Times declared, according to the DOJ, that this is the most criminal city in the United States because it's bought off by developers and contractors.
I bet.
That's the DOJ, fools. No wonder you're in trouble.
I didn't, Tons.
I
Thank
have
you.
here,
I didn't see it.
starting with the U.S. Constitution, this is nothing but law that says you can't do what you want to do. In 1919, it's declared in check. Can't even do it in time of war.
Nope.
You lost Zuma Dog. You lost the Hunt case. That's what, 1.314 million? And you continue with this, it's going to be worse than that. Now, Mr. City Attorney, you stupid fool that doesn't know the law and contract.
General public comment.
Why are they muting him?
Sound?
Why are they muting him?
Who do you think you people are, you bunch of criminals? You don't follow the law. We're going to take your bar licenses, fools.
Who in the fuck do you guys think
You're
you
right now
are?
been taking my health care. I need a kidney removed. I've had 8 doctors abandon me in the last 5 months because of you. I was just in the emergency room and almost had to be transfused because of you. So if you think I'm going to back off on you fools, you're going to have to deal with the law, fool, because here it is. And don't try to not take it like everybody else does, because you're scared little babies. And you should be, because you're going down.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
I love it. I love it. Transfuse, yeah, transfusion. I get them once a
Good
year
morning.
usually.
Which items would you like to speak to?
I have a
I
blood
would
issue.
like to speak on behalf of item 16 and general
Infusions. And
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Feel free, and this goes for everyone.
Transfusion for the
Feel free to
blood,
move the microphone
infusion
around
for
as
like
you see fit.
iron.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Diana Munguia, and I'm part of the Redeemer Community Partnership Youth Greenhouse in South Los Angeles. I'm here to speak in support of item 16 and to share why this matters to me and my community. At the greenhouse, we work on issues that impact our lives every day, like safe streets, clean air, and making sure our voices are heard. We've seen youth get hit by cars. We walked past oil drill sites and breathed in polluted air. And we've been part of projects to make South LA safer, healthier, and more hopeful. But it's hard to fight for safety in our community and then come to a place like City Hall and still feel unsafe. When people use words like the N-word or the C-word in public meetings, it's not just disrespectful, it's harmful. It makes us feel unwelcome. It sends the message that we don't belong here, even though we're the ones showing up and doing the work to make change. We need City Hall to be a space where we feel safe to speak up, a space that respects all communities, Black, brown, immigrant youth. We need our leaders to create a civic space that matches the kind of future we're trying to build in South LA. One that's safe, respectful, and full of opportunity. Please support item 16 and help make City Hall safe for youth like me. Thank you.
And pick up my $20 in the back of the hall. Oh, I'm sorry. Forget the last part.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'd like to speak for item number 16 and a general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please, go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Emily Salazar, and I'm a 16-year-old girl, and I'm a part of RCP Youth. I'm here to speak in strong support of item number 16. As a young person learning how important civic engagement is, I want to feel like I belong in spaces like this. But when people use hateful language like the N-word or the C-word during public meetings, it creates a negative and disrespectful environment that pushes people away. Instead of encouraging more people to get involved, it makes us feel discouraged, uncomfortable, and unsafe. It sends the message that not everyone is welcome to participate, especially young people, women, and people of color. Everyone should feel safe to share their voices without the fear of being disrespected or harassed. Respect should be the baseline in spaces where decisions that affect our communities are being made. Passing these rule changes would make it clear that hate speech has no place here, and that civic spaces are meant to be inclusive and welcoming to everyone. Thank you so much for listening.
Put it in all the chat rooms. Yes or no? Are these kids paid? Are they paid to come in here and do this?
Rebecca Ninelander.
I've never seen any of them here,
Hernandez,
ever.
Alexa Galbraith.
We've been watching this 2 years, more maybe.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 45.
There's 2 for yes,
My name is Robert
another
Paulson.
20.
I'm a location manager and a member of the Teamsters 399. My
Just
daughter's going to
brainwashed?
graduate from college in about 2 weeks.
They didn't even
And
get
21
paid?
years ago when she was born, I promised to be a good parent. That involved saying no quite a bit. And as everyone
They
knows,
did
with children,
twice
they don't
bug and
like
lost
to hear
1.4
no,
million.
And it made for a difficult parenting situation. So my wife and I made a decision, a conscious decision, to say yes more often. Things got a little bit easier that way.
you all
I'm
think
asking in this
not one
item
no?
45 specifically about the permitting process
There's
that
one no.
departments in the council say yes more often than they say no. That no's cost production more in money and productivity than just a simple yes.
I want to know what Daniel Gus thinks. Daniel?
As you consider this council,
They
this
paid
motion that you
paid actors, Daniel?
say yes. That's all.
Did they go to the local junior high and high school and get him over here?
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
There's 2
Good
no.
morning. I would like to speak.
Same person
on
said no
item
twice.
16 and make a general
You have to
public
say it
comment.
once.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Good morning, council members. My
Yes,
name is
Eitan.
Alexia, and I'm a part of the RCP Youth at the Greenhouse South LA. We are here today because we care about the future of our city.
Thank you,
but we
Jean
also
Bach.
want to speak up about what happens inside this room.
Thank you, Gene.
When people come here and use racist words, hateful terms, or disrespectful language, it hurts everyone, especially young people like me who are trying to learn and get involved. We shouldn't have to hear the N-word or other slurs in a public meeting where we come to discuss important topics like street safety, jobs, and climate change. We're asking you to please protect this space, to make City Hall a place where youth feel respected, safe, and valued. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Smoke. Definitely indoctrinated kids.
I'd like to call
I
up
don't know
more
too many
names.
kids that young.
Richard Serrano, Esther Solomon, Kenneth Galbraith.
I don't know the kids that young that are talking about climate change and things like that. No. So Richard, did somebody sign up as Richard Serrano? Because I don't see Richard in there. He'd be wearing his Kings jersey for tonight, or a Dodger jersey.
I'm Rebecca Niederlander. Someone called my name, but I'm here exclusively to speak on number 15. I'm not sure if my name was called appropriately at this point.
So yes, this is public comment for all items that are open for public comment.
Okay, so
item 15 is not open, but you can speak to it during general. So you have the 1 minute for general
But
public.
if I have no interest in speaking on general, I'm here because you called my name. But if you're going to wait and do public comment specifically for 15 in consecutive, like I'm trying to figure out what's happening here.
Nope. So for everyone, for item 15 or other items that were not listed as open for public comment, that is because public comment was satisfied at the committee level. So we are not reopening public comment on 15 or any of the items for which public comment has been held. However, you can speak to it during general. So if you would like to speak to item 15, you can do so now for up to 1 minute.
Okay.
And then we
So
wasted
I'd like
another
you to hold
minute
my
for
comment, my time for a moment while a
So
packet is being distributed on
That's-
number 15 to
No.
committee, because that was supposed to happen beforehand. So
Okay,
there is
so
a packet.
in order to
that-
distribute it, you have to give it to the sergeants. You can do that after your comment as well.
Right, Karen. It goes after. Even the
I don't
dummy
think
knows.
it's been distributed. Do you have?
We don't care,
Understood.
Karen. We're
Then
not
what
going to
we're
read
gonna
it
do is
anyways,
this,
Karen.
because we need to keep public comment
Going
going.
into
So I'm
file,
gonna
what,
ask that the other
13?
person comes up, or you can begin your public comment now, and we
Right
can
into the
circulate
trash
it after
can.
it's given to the sergeants.
Shredder. I read it.
Then I will begin.
Thank you.
I think that this, I mean, just that this speaks to the frustration that members, the constituents feel in the process that this has taken place.
You voted for it.
On April 3rd, 2024,
Enjoy.
City Planning staffer Jane Choi issued a letter on City Planning letterhead indicating a Verizon project that we know about. We know about this project and deemed it approved. And it was approved just as is. No conditions were issued. No mitigations were put in place, despite the fact that the legally recognized decision-making body for this project, East Area Planning Commission, had not even held the public hearing for this project. City planning letters included the following. Federal Communications Commission, FCC, established a 15-day shot clock for this and other similar wire facilities and cited some statistics. No action was taken prior to the expiration of the time to act, which was July 13th, 2023. In view of the above, the application was deemed approved. The letter did not include a means of approval.
CB, they're like a local union. I think they're fighting for the extension of the $200 million to extend the LA Convention Center, so they can get the contracts and build it. But we're $1 billion in debt.
Good morning. Which items
so
would you like to speak
are we
to?
going to be $1.2
I'm here
billion
to
in
speak
debt?
in favor of item 16.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Galbraith, and as someone who is invested
there's
in
Richard
the future
Serrano with
of
the
our
Rams
community,
jersey, maybe.
I believe our council
He is
meetings
there.
should reflect respect and productive dialogue. Dehumanizing language like the N-word and C-word creates an environment where real solutions are overshadowed by division. When public meetings are filled with hostility, it discourages people, especially youth and marginalized communities, from engaging. We need a space where we can freely share our ideas without fear of intimidation or disrespect. These rule changes will establish clear standards for respectful communication and show that our community is committed to fostering an environment where everyone's voice is valued. I urge the council to adopt these changes and set a positive example for the future of our city. Let's create a space where all our voices are welcome to contribute to meaningful progress. Thank you.
I'm wondering if you think and say the same thing at your local school when you hear it, because don't tell me that the kids ain't saying it at school. Do not lie and tell me that they're not saying it.
Good morning. Which items would
Do
you
you
like
think
to
in
speak to?
the same
Good
way
morning,
when you
council
hear it at
members.
school?
My name is Arlene Rano from the Redeemer Community Partnership Youth. I am here to speak in favor of item 16 and make a general comment. It is important to have a nice place where we can talk to our council members without having the feeling of feeling scared or bad. Using harmful words like the N-word and the C-word is wrong. It makes students and youth feel like it's bad, and it teaches them the wrong things. I've seen how mean words hurt people in our community. We need a place where everyone feels safe and good. That is why I support item number 16. Thank you.
You know, and again, it's not just these two words. They're highlighting these two. Richard Serrano coming up. Again, if we went over it, I'm sure lots of people are angered by lots of words. I don't like all the words that they say. But, the problem is it's afforded by free
Richard
speech.
Serrano, general public comment, and 15, 16, and all items.
Okay,
Go
so
Dodgers
you
and
have
Rams.
3 minutes
Surprised
for
he's not
the
wearing the
items
Kings
and 1 minute
jersey
for
today.
general. Item 15,
They
you
are
can
playing
speak to during
Edmonton
general,
tonight.
but it is not open for public comment on the agenda. So we'll start you with your 3 minutes, and then we'll let you know when you switch to your 1 minute general. Go ahead.
Number 8, if we're going to go underground and put electrical, yes, the valley should be in line.
I agree.
The reason we're speaking about going underground is because we got a blank slate. Palisades burned down. So instead of building something up, we move forward with progress.
Oh, you know.
It's not because
Eitan,
the
stop
valleys
it.
last.
Okay, can you
but
pause
it will
this
be
time?
last.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pausing your time, okay? So You're speaking to item number 3, which is not open for public comment. So as a courtesy, I'm going to remind everybody in the room, the items open for public comment on the agenda are items 2,
French roast
items
is
35
French roast.
through 49,
French
and
dip.
item 50. So for
This French
the
dip.
remainder of your 2 minutes and 38 seconds, I'm going to ask that you
That
please stick
Anjou.
to items 2, items 35 through 49, or item 50. If you'd like to speak to item 3 or item 8, which I think you mentioned, or any
Why are you
other item,
changing it
16
on
is also
Richard?
open, yes. If you'd like to speak to any of the items I did not mention, you can do so during general. Go ahead.
15, the tower.
15 is not, I'll repeat it one more time. Hold his time. The items open for public comment are items 2, items 16, items 35 through 49, and item 50. Any other item that I did not mention, you can speak to during general for 1 minute. Go ahead.
Number 16. Again, I applaud these students, young students here. Articulate, very well spoken. And although people do have the right to use a C and N word, and it's already legally been debated in this chamber or in law and lost to the city, unfortunately, it shows intelligence to the new future that these kids would want this out of this chamber. How you have to come about it is up to you. But as a city attorney that I saw at yesterday's meeting, you had the transgender community with a flag behind them, rotating around behind them. How do you allow one and not the other? You need to stay on base, not just one or the other. They rotated around here with a flag. And you were okay with that. Explain that to us. So 16 needs to be that we need to be able to speak on what we need to speak on. And it can't be nothing less than that. I wish the adults had the respect for the children and the elderly, but I can't force that hand. I can't force that hand.
So you've exhausted your 1 minute on this item. You can continue during general if you'd like, but please move on to another item.
Okay, let's go with 15, general public comment, the tower.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ. Do you really need to be heard that much? The point being that the tower is going to be there whether it's legal or not. That it ran out of time, it shouldn't be there. We sold the Hollywood Hill. Chicago was going to build mansions up there until when they went to pull the permits, they found out it was a mistake. So they stopped it. Don't tell me we're going to be lawsuit. This is in their neighborhood. Don't put the cell tower there because it brings you revenue. Don't allow it. To the city people, the same thing. Ms. Hernandez, you just said medical. You're about to lay off 1,632 people. How do you think they're going to survive with no medical, no money for rent, no money for food? You guys could all give up $100,000. That's 1.5, a drop in the bucket. Mayor Bass is going to give up some of everything. We can extend this until we have to lay people off. We don't have to. Please do not lay these people off. They work too hard for us.
Next
There it is. Richard Serrano getting
I'd like
it
to
in
call
there,
up
buddy.
more names.
Cup jersey.
Gabriela Ruano, Malaki Simmons, Julio Hernandez.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 15. Good morning. My name is Esther Suleiman, and the city planning's letter did not include means for appeal. It was not sent to property owners with a 500-foot radius around the subject property, as is required of a letter of determination on a project seeking conditional use permit and specific plan exemption. Instead, the deemed approved letter was mailed to just 5 stakeholders who had specifically signed up to receive information about the project. This was an unprecedented move. It was the first time in LA history a project was ever deemed approved in this way. Planning had never dealt
There
with the
goes
issue
all the
before,
kids together.
and they admit they were
All herded
scrambling
together.
to figure out what to do and how to
Good
do
job.
it.
High
In that
fives.
scramble, they got things
I know
only
you saw
partly
that
correct.
right now.
Yes,
I
the
know you saw
decision-making
that.
time limit, aka the shot clock, had expired. Yes, some projects can be deemed approved or are automatically approved when a shot clock expires. But no, this project cannot be deemed approved. One of the requirements in order for a
All
project
day,
to be
Daniel, they
eligible
say
to
it
be
in
deemed
school.
approved.
All day. Go watch
you.
TikTok videos. All day long. It's every other word.
And members of the public.
But I bet you those kids don't say anything about that because they weren't given $20 and a day off of school to come down and say it.
Right-hand side of the council chambers. Good morning. Which item
See
would
through
you
the
like to speak
bullshit.
Good morning. I'd like to speak to item 45. My name is Malachi Simmons. I'm the Vice President of IATSC Local 728, which represents 3,000 members in the craft of lighting for motion picture and television. I'd like to address this chamber and thank them for bringing item 45 to the floor. For over 100 years, Los Angeles has been the capital of entertainment and film and television in the world. We're now experiencing a reduction of work due to going outside of Los Angeles to other states and countries.
Eitan,
and I
say
believe
something
this
in the
bill
chat.
will help make it easier to bring work back to Los Angeles. So thank you for bringing this to the floor, and I urge an aye vote. Also, I just want to stand in solidarity with the students speaking on behalf of item 16. Thank you.
$20 and a fruit roll-up? Shit, yeah. I ain't had a fruit roll-up in a long time.
I will call up more names. Richard Parks, Itzel Ranson, Rogelio Sanchez.
Blame Netflix? I did a long time ago, Shy, and I got rid of them.
Good morning. Which
I don't
items
have.
would you
I
like
haven't
to
had
speak to?
Netflix in
Good
like
morning. I'm speaking
2
on
years.
general public comment and item number 16.
Don't even
Thank
miss
you.
it.
1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Good morning, Council President and members of the LA City Council. My name is Itzel, and I serve as an assistant principal in South LA. I'm here today to speak in support of item 16 and to offer public comment on behalf of students, families, and educators I work with every day. As someone who works closely with young people, many of whom are first-generation English learners or come from historically underserved communities, I see firsthand how critical it is that public spaces like this one reflect the values that we want to install in the next generation. Respect, safety, and dignity. When harmful, dehumanizing language like the N-word and C-words are used in these chambers, it doesn't just create an uncomfortable environment. It sends a harmful message to our youth. These spaces are not for them, that their voice, their culture, and their experience are not welcome. I've had students ask me, is anyone gonna say something? Smoke. That's not the lesson that I want them to walk away with. Our young people should be learning that their voice matters. That civic engagement is a tool for empowerment, not a space where they have to brace themselves for harm. Supporting item 16 is a step towards protecting the integrity of these spaces. It's a commitment to creating an environment where everyone, especially youth and community members, can show up, can speak up, and can be treated with humanity. This is a serious issue that I stand with all my students. Just because you are different does not mean your voice is less important. Thank you for taking this issue seriously. Thank you for working to make these chambers more inclusively, but more importantly, thank you for giving us the opportunity to show respect for the students, for the community, and for the city of LA.
Inclusive.
Thank you so much, everyone.
And it's scary that you're the teacher and I'm the dummy, and I know that.
I'd like to call
the word
up more
is
names.
inclusive.
Greg Parks, Alec Meduena, Oscar Romero.
What's
Good
Eitan
morning.
doing
Which
here?
items would you
I
like to
don't
speak to?
Item 16 and public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for public comment. Go ahead.
As a school's principal in South LA, I'm here not just as an educator, but as someone who works daily
as
with
an
young people
indoctrinator.
who are watching how adults lead and how we show up in our community and how we treat one another. I support item 16 because it's important to me and the families and the youth that I serve. That we all have access to a civil space that is respectful, safe, and conducive to genuine dialogue. A space where our youth feel empowered, not dismissed. Where our families can participate without feeling harassed or intimidated. When people use language like the N-word or the C-word in these chambers, or anywhere in public discourse, it's not just a shock in the room, it sends a clear message to our young people that there is no expectation of dignity, that hatred is allowed, that their voice doesn't matter.
He's good, James. He was
And
just
for
here.
youth in South LA, many of them who are black and brown, that message hits especially hard. I've seen the impact of this firsthand. Students have asked me why adults get away with things they would be
Cubby.
suspended for. They're confused, they're discouraged, and they start to believe that civic spaces aren't meant for them. That's why I support item 16, not to silence anyone, but support to raise the standard, to protect the right of our communities, especially our young people, to engage in the civil law life without fear. Also, as a parent, it would be an amazing component to it to make sure that my children are here and to witness how it really works. But with that fear, bringing them in and being them out here to hear that language, it is my fear that I do not bring them in. I do support item 16, and I thank you for your time.
Okay, just as a recap for the ones who don't know, we lost $1.4 million to two people that sued the city over free speech in this chamber. They won hands down.
Which items would you like to speak
These
to?
people will do the same.
Item 16.
They're just going to sue the city and win.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for
and
the
it's
item
our
and 1 minute
money.
for general. Go ahead.
That's
Good morning. My name is Oscar Romero. I'm here to support item 16.
This is where you tell your
It's
kids,
important to
sticks
see-
and
to
stones
me and my
may break my
community
bones.
To have a conducive
But the
and
words will
respectful
never hurt me.
civic space to engage with our council people without feeling discouraged, uncomfortable, harassed.
You can't bubble them the whole
Using
time.
language like the N or C word discourages our youth and sends the wrong message. As the principal of
I'm not
high
joking,
school
that's
in
all
Lincoln
real.
Heights, we have been working very hard with creating spaces for our students so that with clubs like No Place for Hate, so that we are making sure that students know how to disagree in a respectful way and really learn to have those communications as they continue their learning. I think it will be very important as they graduate from high school and they go into the real world that they can count on spaces like here where they can feel able to voice their opinions and work for their entire community. Thank you.
I'd like to call up more names. Ed Duffy, Kyle Penn, Rachel Angel.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. Item 16 and general comment.
So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm here to speak in support of item 16. As a social studies teacher for over a decade and now working on the school leadership team, I work with young people every day. And one of our goals is to help them grow into engaged, informed citizens who participate in civic
Word
life.
cunt.
But as you may know, public
C-U-N-T
comment sessions have unfortunately
is the C word.
included frequent
Cunt.
instances of inappropriate, offensive, and racist language. That's one of the reasons we have been
Gender-based
reluctant to bring students
slur.
to observe or even participate in meetings. In support of this proposal and in alignment with our network's No Place for Hate initiative and broader commitment to anti-racism, we're raising our voices today to advocate for a more inclusive and respectful space at City Hall. Our youth are watching. When harmful slurs are allowed to go unchecked in civic spaces, it tells them that their presence and their dignity do not matter. That is not the message we want to send. This proposal is not about silencing disagreement. It is about raising the bar on how we engage with one another. Thank you for your time and for considering the voices of students, educators, and community members
Speaker, your
who
time
believe
is
in a better
See,
standard
these
for public discourse.
indoctrinators are busy worrying about feelings and not teaching the kids about the Constitution. Affording people the right and to learn to have a backbone and say, hey, we don't like that. We don't agree with it.
Good morning. Which item
But
would
it
you
is
like to speak
afforded
to?
under the law. As much as we don't like it. There's lots that you don't like.
Para comentario público.
A public comment.
Y mi nombre es Narcisa
See you next
Hernández.
Tuesday.
¿Sobre
Is
qué
that what
punto va a hablar, señora?
that means? See you next time.
Como no escuché algo.
I'm sorry, you said general public comment and which item?
Dijo comentario general.
Mi nombre es Narcisa Hernández.
My name
That's
is
true,
Narcisa
Terry.
Hernández.
Someone already tried cutting the trees
Estoy
down last
aquí
week. He got
para
cops
que
out.
el seguro médico y salario.
We should,
I
Terry.
am here to talk
Somebody
about
should.
The medical insurance and wages.
Es muy importante para mí.
This is something very important to me
Y mi familia.
and my
piensa-
family.
Y mi familia piense que en la gente trabajadora del aeropuerto. Gracias.
And also, I'm here in support of the working people, and we work
Hi,
at
Julius.
LAX. Thank you.
Look, I don't agree with his sweater. I would never wear it. But again, the people that created this country had said it's afforded by law. Whether these sensitive people like it or not.
General comment?
You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Sure. About 15. What does FCC law say? We've talked a lot about what state law says about shot clocks and what is required in order to make a project eligible to be deemed approved. But we do not clear something up about federal law. That's very important. At the Plum Committee meeting, the Plum chair asked planning staff if the city would be in defiance of federal law if they sent this to the East Area Planning Commission for its hearing. He was told yes. That was absolutely incorrect. But because we were limited to 1 minute per person public comments, and public comment was over, we were unable to point out this error. For certain types of projects, the FCC does allow remedy of default approval if a shot clock is missed. However,
guys, live protest.
The FCC purposefully declined to set
a block away, literally 1 block over. We're in this room that we're watching.
Unique and often complex.
This is 1 block over.
Thank you.
They're moving too. If you notice, they're moving.
45. Ed Duffy, Teamsters Local 399. We represent location managers, drivers, casting directors, animal trainers, and others that work in the motion picture industry. And I appreciate
I'll keep an eye on it.
Nazarian for bringing this motion forward.
We'll see what's going on.
We've been, yesterday a lot of us were up in Sacramento fighting for our film tax credits, which we
one
hope
would
we
guess
can
that they're
actually accomplish
fighting
this year.
Trump.
We've had this
Whatever
challenge
Trump
for
did
many
this
years
morning.
where we are not as appreciated in our neighborhoods and in our businesses around town.
They're angry because
Many
Trump
of you know
created
that.
potholes
We
and
have
they
a lot of
broke their tires on the way
conversations
into work.
about
Oh wait, they don't
improving
go to
filming
work.
in Los
Sorry.
Angeles. We need to continue that. We need to change the culture of the response to us being filming in neighborhoods. It seems like there's always a major pushback. There's always no's. There's always more costs and more costs. We know that the city is definitely having a budget problem, but we need to solve some of these problems. We need to fix some of these costs that we have. Thank you.
I'm going to put it on the tactical challenge. Let's see if they should have their own tack.
I'd like to call
travel
out
guy,
names.
let's go.
Norma Silva, Martin Week, Milton Hilderson.
Hi,
Let's
good morning.
go.
My
Thank
name
you,
is
travel
Rachel
guy.
Angel. I'm speaking on item 45.
Please go ahead.
I am part of Local 706 as a hairstylist, and I support this measure. While LA is not my home originally, I consider myself a native, and the film industry has become my family, and I am very passionate about what I do. So let's continue to bring the work back to LA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ocupo tu traducción.
Which items would you like to speak to?
Buenos días,
Estoy
¿sobre qué
haciendo
tema
este
quiere hablar?
comentario público.
General public comment.
Mi
Okay, so
nombre
you
es
have 1 minute.
Julio Hernández, trabajo en el LAX. Estoy aquí porque aumento de salario y de cobertura de médico.
Yes,
de
my name
medical
is Julio
para mi
Hernandez.
familia.
I work in LAX, and I'm here asking for a wage increase as well as medical benefits to cover me as my family as well.
Para mi familia tengo 3 hijos y dependen de mí como padre y le pido por su apoyo. Gracias.
Because I have 3 children and they depend on me as their father to support them. Thank you.
That's what fathers do, to support their kids.
Good
Hello,
morning. Which
committee.
items would you like to speak to?
This is in reference to the Plum Committee's concern regarding the FCC.
Okay, so you have
I'm
1
gonna
minute
read
for
some-
general public comment. Go ahead.
This is general public comment, yes, since this is what we have. I'm going to read from the FCC that specifically points to the question that the council person on the Plum Committee had that just
Person.
raised their issue.
Keyword.
In the petition for declaratory ruling to clarify provisions of Section 332, the FCC wrote, "The case law does not establish that an injunction granting the applicant is always or presumptively appropriate when a failure to act occurs. To the contrary, in those cases where courts have issued such injunctions, upon finding a failure to act within a reasonable time, they have done so only after examining all the facts of the case. While we agree that injunctions granting applications may be appropriate in many cases, the proposal in personal wireless service facilities citing applications and surrounding circumstances can vary greatly. The shot clock limit, once a suit is filed, the court shall hear and decide on an expedited basis. The answer is no to what the Plum Committee persons asked.
So,
the answer is no. It is
Speaker,
not
your
yes.
time has expired.
Someone took a line out of your script, ma'am. There was a line missing there. I know it. You dropped that page on
Which
in
items
here.
would you like to speak to?
Item 45, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hi, council members. Thank you. My name is Martin Weeks. I am the president of IATSE Local 728, and on behalf of the 3,000 members of my union, I urge the council to vote in support of the motion put forth by Assemblymember Nazarian. Any headwinds for production is causing production to leave Los Angeles, and it's causing our members to lose their jobs and have a lack of work. So I urge the council to vote in support. Thank you.
I'd like to call up more names. Jessica Withington McLean, Lisa Reed, Carol Allen.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
General comment for item 15.
Okay, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Once the shot clock limit is
Something
violated,
about people
the
being
applicant
fed up
must
about
file
something.
suit against the municipality within 30 days from the time of the violation. Once the suit is filed, the court shall hear and decide such action on an expedited basis. The FCC further emphasized that congressional intent was that courts should have the responsibility to fashion appropriate case-specific remedies. So the answer to the Plum's chair's question is no. Regardless of what the city does here, they are not in defiance of federal law because the FCC has no deemed approved remedy for towers like the one proposed here. It's very important that you listen to that piece of information so that we can again go to the Plum Committee. The relevant law is California law because while the FCC declined to issue a deemed approved remedy for new towers, California did choose to allow a deemed approved remedy for any type of wireless project.
Are they just as angry about the N and the C word when they hear it in rap lyrics? Just asking.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'm speaking on number 15.
Just asking.
The
All right,
Neighborhood
everybody.
Council in Eagle Rock acted on this, and there will be a community impact statement submitted. So I'd like my 5 minutes, please.
5 minutes for
Sorry.
impact.
So I understand the request, but I thought I heard you say that there will be a community impact statement
Correct.
submitted. So if a community impact statement has not been adopted by the neighborhood council yet?
One has already been put through. They've voted on this item, and there is a community impact statement by the neighborhood council, and there'll be a supplement as well.
Okay, so it's already been approved by the neighborhood council and submitted to the
Correct.
clerk's office.
The neighborhood
Hold
council
on,
has acted on
just
this
1
item.
minute.
Uh-oh. Karen
That
came
was
in and
upon
forced
advice
the
from
law.
the council president's office.
I'm trying to read their banners. It says we are fed up,
you
but I
have a-
can't see
you
anything
have a
else
community
that it
impact
says.
statement. Go ahead with 3 minutes.
It's really hard to read it.
Thank you. There are a couple things that I really want the council to hear here, and as a former deputy of this council, I wouldn't be up here giving testimony on something
it,
that I
Terry.
didn't really believe the city had made a mistake about. And I think we need to correct it. It's okay
Karen's
that the
gonna
city
Karen.
makes mistakes, but you need to correct them when you do. So to answer Mr. Blumenfield's request of the city planning department when it was at Plum, will we be in defiance of FCC law if we allow this to go to public hearing? No. The FCC declined to set a deemed approved remedy on towers because they so greatly vary and are so unique. What happened was state law set a deemed approved remedy for any kind of telecommunications application if certain circumstances are met. And in this case, they were not met. The one of greatest importance is that all notifications required for the application under relevant law will have been made. This project never made it to the East Area Planning Commission. That's the legally recognized decision-making body for this project. It never had a hearing. When city planning dealt with this issue, it was the first time they'd ever dealt with it. They were constructing the airplane as they were flying it. They got it partially right and partially wrong. But the partially wrong part is what needs to be corrected. And that's all we're asking. We're asking that it go back to the East Area Planning Commission where it belongs. Now, I want to talk to you about whether a shot clock usurps due process. No. There is abundant California law that makes that very clear. It's in your packet. It's marked number 15 on the top. Please read it. Please have your deputies look at it. Fact check me. I am right. Also, California law describes notification as required by law to include the public hearing. The California Supreme Court has ruled a lead agency must act on a CUP application within the time limits provided, and if it does not act, an application is deemed approved. But when other landowners are affected, such deemed approval would be improper unless the lead agency holds a properly noticed hearing. For example, a hearing that complies with the requirements of due process. That is not information that was provided to Plum. We apologize. I can't control what staff says. I don't know if they've dug as deep as I have.
So,
please fact check me. I am correct.
Speaker, that's the end of the time for the community impact statement. Are you also speaking in your individual capacity or no?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No worries. So that was the 3 minutes for the community impact statement because
Correct.
you're representative, the representative for that neighborhood council. Are you also speaking in your individual capacity?
Do I get another minute?
Yes, if you're
Then I
speaking
will
as an
take it.
individual.
Also brought up was whether the design review board constitutes a public hearing. If you have a specific plan in your district, you may have a design review board. They are completely advisory. They make recommendations to the city council and the area planning commission. In fact, on the agenda for the design review board meeting that did happen, it literally says the decision maker for this case is the East Area Planning Commission. A hearing will be held in the future. So that does not constitute the public hearing on this matter, just to make that super clear. And there's abundant case law on all of these issues. I'm going to run out of time in terms of pointing you to them. But once the shot clock runs out, that is not enough to deem a project approved. There's law. I've listed it. Please look at it.
Thousands of LA County workers marched through downtown on day 2 of planned 48-hour strike.
For sure.
So that's what it is.
If
LA
this
County workers we're
45-foot
looking
fake
at.
Tree has to live in their community forever. That it was absolutely legally
That's wild. I
unavoidable.
hit him up, and that's
Speaker, your
weird.
time has expired.
How does that even happen?
And while we're waiting for the next speaker to come up, just as a point of clarification, because I know that we have a lot of new people here. So what just took place there is we have a robust neighborhood council system here in the city.
This is happening
and I
right
believe there's
now, 2
almost
blocks
100
away
neighborhood
from what we're
councils.
watching.
So neighborhood councils, if they have a
These are
Brown
LA
Act
County
meeting
workers
and they adopt
on a
a
second
community
day
impact statement,
of a strike.
then
They're
they may
fed
be
up.
afforded additional time for a formal
With the
statement
county,
adopted
not
by
the
that
city,
body.
just so we're clear.
So,
we're
and then the
watching LA
individuals that are
City.
here as well can
These
also
are
speak
county
in their
workers. They're
individual
fed up with the
capacity.
county.
So
So
that is
apparently
the
the
reason
city's
why there
fucking
was
up.
additional
The
time
county's
given for
fucking
that
up.
formally
The state
adopted
as a whole is
community
in the
impact
toilet.
statement. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Hi, general comment on 15.
Okay, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
And I'll be quick. I just want to say that at the Plum meeting, it was summarized by the Plum committee as, OG, if we agree, even though this neighborhood has made very salient,
And
valid
by the way,
points,
this is the professor's
we will
shot. Shout out to
probably
the
be
fucking
sued.
professor.
So, hey, let's just note and file it, and let's not approve that it go back to due process. So they basically said we care more about money than we do about our constituents, and we don't want to give our constituents their due process and their right as longtime stakeholders. So no thank you, and we felt completely not represented by the city of Los Angeles. So we're very hopeful that
Spindler
you
just
are
walked in.
Going to hear this with open ears and listen to us and care as voters and as members of this great city.
Would
that
you rather
has been
watch
through
the
so
march
much this
and
year.
listen to
And
this
thank you
like
for
we're
your
doing?
hard work, because
this
civil
good?
service is brutal. And
when the good ones come
and
up, I'll
we
switch back
appreciate
to
the
them so we
difficult
can see them.
position you're in.
Thank
What do you guys think?
I'd like to call up more
when the
names.
regulars show
Nick
up.
Stewart Block, Stacy Segura, Corey Moore.
Look, I want
Hi,
song
Speaker.
title
Which item were general
and
public
the
on?
artist.
Item 15 as well.
Okay,
and I
so
want
you-
to, I'll
that's-
continue the statement that we've been making, but I do want to plead with you all to really read these documents, because I know what you're getting is not so great. The relevant law is California law, because while the FCC declined to issue a deemed approved remedy for new towers, California did choose to allow a deemed approved remedy for any type of wireless
It's like-
project, but only if listed requirements have all been met.
It's like
Which
that
brings
game
us
where
again to
there's
the
like
due process
hordes of
issue.
fucking you against
California
millions of
Government
people.
Section 65964-1, as cited in the planning deemed approved letter, specifies that in order for a project to be deemed approved, among other requirements, the applicant must have provided all public notices regarding the application that the applicant is required to provide under applicable laws consistent with the public notice requirement for that application. The project proposed in this case would require discretionary permits, including a conditional use permit and a specific plan exemption. By law,
Sorry. Next speaker. Hello, which items did you want to speak on?
To begin, I would like to speak on behalf of the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council with the CIS that we filed for item 16, council file number 16-1104-3.
Girl, you living in Sherman Oaks? Stacey ballin'.
Okay, and you're the designated representative speaking.
President
Okay.
member designated me to
Stacey
speak,
be
yes.
balling and playing like she ain't.
You have 5 minutes. Please go ahead.
Great, thank you. I'm sorry, 5 or 3?
3.
Okay. I'll begin with an introduction that the president wrote when she filed the CIS. The Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council, in a 12-1 vote at its April 14, 2025 meeting, adopted a position to oppose Council File 16-1104-S3, proposing an amendment to City Council rules to prohibit the use of certain words and slurs. Although we share Council's revulsion at such offensive language, SONC in debate noted rules already exist to address fighting words, threats, and other disruptions pursuant to California law. And furthermore, this proposed rule violates the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, California's Brown Act, among others, and opens the city to significant legal liability pertaining to the infringement of the rights of City Council's constituency. While promoting authoritarianism and censorship in an era when our very democracy is at risk, thanks to rules and actions similar to this, for those aforementioned reasons, SONC requests our representative, Councilmember Nithya Raman, withdraw her second, especially given that Councilmember Raman's reasons for opposing SONC's position on past efforts included, but are not limited to, the Ethel Development Project and Bonds of Helen at least, was her concern that voting with her constituency would expose the city to legal liability. As this proposed rule would undoubtedly result in significant legal liability exposure, we request Councilmember Raman use this consistent logic to oppose this motion. Council file reads, the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council strongly opposes Council File 16-1104-S3. While we do not condone the use of any slurs or epithets during council meetings or at any time, we consider this attempt by City Council to ban members of the public from using specific words during public comment period a blatant attack on free speech as guaranteed by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. The language used in the court case cited as precedent in this council file, Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire, 315 U.S. 568, 1942, which was directed at a U.S. Marshal arresting Chaplinsky, was, "You are a goddamned racketeer and a damned fascist." In the news outlet Westside Current, Council President Harris Dawson is quoted as saying he expects his colleagues to add additional language And this is as much a step as we can take at this moment, we believe, but we think it will open us up to take additional steps in the future, indicating that the two epithets outlined in the council file are just the starting point to this attempt at dictating what the public can and cannot say during public comment period at city council meetings. The council president also stated that he's eager to get in front of a judge, indicating that he anticipates lawsuits will be filed against the city for violation of free speech as guaranteed by the First Amendment. In the case Michael Hunt v. City of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles paid $215,000 to settle with the plaintiffs. An LA Times article about the case published June 12, 2014 states Councilman Bernard C. Parks described the payment as a business decision, arguing that the city would have to pay far more had the case gone to trial. A judge in a separate federal case recently found that Los Angeles violated the free speech rights of two other men who were repeatedly ejected from council meetings. Although the jury awarded each man only $1, the city still had to pay around $600,000. I'll continue this statement for my comment on item 16, and then I'll be speaking on all comments and general comment in my individual capacity. Thank you. Considering the significant liability costs of the City of Los Angeles incurs every year, this is an irresponsible misuse of power on the part of City Council that has potential to burden taxpayers with costly litigation and/or settlement payouts. We note that while the motion on this council file was introduced on March 21st, 2025, there are several written comments submitted that are dated before that, as early as February 2025, and many submitted after March 21st that are dated prior to March 21st in the documents submitted as comment. The pattern of early submissions raises concerns about coordinated messaging not originating from independent community members. We request Councilmember Nithya Raman of District 4 remove her second on this motion. We request this item be withdrawn from consideration. We strongly urge a no vote if it's considered. And I have a copy of that council file for each of the council members. If I could have a sergeant please come and disseminate those. Now, moving on, I am now speaking in my individual capacity and no longer representing the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council. Thank you. I'd like to move on to item 45. So I'd like to point out that in 2024, Disney CEO Bob Iger was paid $41.1 million to serve in his capacity. David Zaslav, Warner Brothers CEO, to whom Nithya Raman granted a day, Warner Brothers Day, right before the writing strikes happened. He earned $51.9 million in 2024. Netflix CEO Ted Sandaros had a $60 million payout for his role in 2024. I really support our filmmakers and artists. However, I think it's clear that these production companies are not strapped for cash when they're paying their CEOs tens of millions of dollars every year. So maybe we could ask them to contribute due fees when they are filming. I'd also like to speak on the many motions to light up City Hall for various things. It costs $438 every time we do this. We don't really have an explanation as to why it costs that much, but it does. One of these items is in recognition of the Armenian genocide, which was a terrible, harrowing, tragic event. I just want to point out that while City Council members spent a lot of time honoring the Armenian genocide last week and the week before, and we say never again. Never again is right now, and no one here has acknowledged the ongoing genocide that's being perpetrated against Palestine, particularly Councilmember Raman, who voted yes to adopt the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which criminalizes any criticism of Israel. So we can see where item 16 is headed with regard to the things they want to kick people out for saying in this chambers. Please, council members, acknowledge the genocide that's happening right now, especially if you're going to make lofty speeches and wax poetic about making sure that atrocities of the past never happen again. Never again is right now. Thank you for paying attention, Curran Price. General public comment? Budget. The budget that Mayor Bass has proposed is some kind of disappointing joke. Deep cuts, layoffs to critical staff who are making sure the city goes. Well, don't you think that you should have listened to what Kenneth Mejia said on liabilities and revenue projections? Council, know it's on you to reject the mayor's budget. Hey, the people have had their say, so you're gonna listen because they're your constituents. Cuts should come from your own side.
It's not Mickey.
Thank you, audience. Shout out Smoke and Scan.
Oh, there we go.
I'd like to call out
19-time
more
Grammy
names.
Award winner.
Greg Perez, Itzel Ronson,
There's one.
Rogelio Sanchez, Alex
one.
Medina.
There's one.
Good morning. Which items would you
19-time
like to
Grammy
speak to?
Award winner.
I'd like to speak to 45, please.
Okay, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
My name is Corey Moore. I am a union representative from IATSE Local 80. We represent over 3,600 members of the film and entertainment industry, including grips, craft service, medics, and Marines. I want to combat this talk about corporations having the money to be able to afford these permit costs in the city of Los Angeles. The people who are hurting by this process are not the corporations. They are the ones who are going to continue to take the work out of the city and away from our citizens. We need to fight to lower these film costs, to expedite the process, to streamline the process, to make it easier for people like myself and the members that I represent, and the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of crew members that are really suffering by these exorbitant costs. The costs that push corporations to take the work out of the city of LA.
Crystal,
A
you're the
perfect
winner.
example would be yesterday I received a call. A member had, he was asked to use a special piece of equipment, and it cost too much because there's extra costs on Film LA. We need to streamline these costs for the members and the
Speaker,
working
your
class.
time has expired. Next speaker.
Oh, wait. Terry got it in the other room. Shout out to Terry. All right, guys, I'm going back through to see who said it first.
Good morning.
Terry.
I'm going to do general comment in item 16.
Shout out to all
1
three
minute
of
for the
you.
item and 1 minute for general.
Getting
Go
it.
ahead.
Well, good morning,
Wasn't even
members
close.
of LA City Council. My name is Greg Perez, and I serve as a community schools coordinator in South Los
Never
Angeles, where I live and I work directly with students, families, and educators who are passionate about building a more just and engaged city. I'm really here today in strong support of the motion, really to eliminate that specific hate speech from City Hall chambers. Let me be clear, I don't believe this is really about censorship. It's really about creating a space where democracy can actually thrive. Free speech for a long time has been a cornerstone of civic life, but hate speech is not the same as free speech. There's a line between disagreement and dehumanization, and that line has often been crossed too many times in this room. Our goal as an educator is to start bringing students regularly, not just for field trips, but as a part of developing their civic development. I want them, our students, to see their leaders in action. It's important that they learn how to advocate, organize, and speak the truth to power.
General public comment.
But I often hesitate because right now the space doesn't always feel safe for young people. This motion gives us a path forward. It's a chance to reaffirm our commitment to civic discourse, to show that we can disagree without degrading, that we can be passionate without being poisonous. If we want our youth to believe in this process, to invest in it, to participate in it, we need to model the very values we seek them to uphold: respect, accountability, and courage. So I want to make this chamber a space where everybody feels welcome. I want to make this chamber a no place for hate. Thank you.
It's funny how it only seems to affect the kids. Why is that? I don't know. And like I said, are they just as angered when they hear it in rap music? Are they just as angered
public comment.
when they hear it at school? That's it. All these people.
Okay,
You
so
see? You see?
Mr. Herman, hold on. So
See how they
we've
did
taken
that?
over an hour public comment. I also want to let everybody know that my understanding is that we will, for anybody who wasn't able to speak on this item, there will be another, on item 16, which I believe that's what some of these folks are upset about. There will be another opportunity to speak if and when council votes on the actual rule change. So as the clerk's office, Mr. Herman, I did not warn you before, but I'm warning you now. Do not disrupt this meeting. This is your first and only formal warning.
Communists. Communists.
So again, as the clerk
We're
explained
gonna
at the
pick
top
who
of the
we
meeting,
want.
council will take no action on item 16 today.
So
It
how
is
they're
only to
changing it and
introduce the
shaping it?
rule, and that is pursuant to Council Rule 77. So the approval of the rule will have to wait at least a week. Thank you.
See how they did that?
Okay, what's before us?
Mr. President,
Hopefully
the
they
council
all
may
get
now
a-
consider
all
item
get loud.
45, called special by Councilmember Nazarian for comments.
People tell me
and
these
by
people aren't
Councilmember Padilla,
communists.
for which amending motion 45A, Padilla
Sure.
Nazarian, has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
Okay, that item is before us. Okay, who's ever speaking in the back, please leave.
I believe they exited, but to the extent they can still hear us and are here, it is the people in the purple shirt. Please do not disrupt this meeting. This is your first and only formal.
The LAX workers?
Okay. Mr. Nazarian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President, and thank you to my colleagues, each of you, for
each and every
either
one of these
helping
people are
shepherd
fucking
or
disgusting.
supporting or voicing out
Communists.
your support in our conversations, given the importance of the film industry to Los Angeles. I wanted to just take a minute and first of all say thank you to Stay in LA and IATSE, laborers, everybody else that's here. It's wonderful to see all of you here, but I have to tell you, I really wish you also were not here. I wish you were out filming. I wish you were in our neighborhood streets.
Sure.
I wish you were continuing to generate revenue, not only for your families, but also for this city.
Of course, because we need our money, so we can squander more, because we're down a bill.
Doing all of the things necessary to keep you continuously working as well on those very streets and sidewalks.
Get out there, slaves, because we need your tax money.
Colleagues,
get out there and work,
motion
slave dog.
is focused on revitalizing local filming production, streamlining the city's permitting process, making it more efficient and less bogged down by bureaucracy. It also aims to increase access to city-owned property for filming.
Yeah, Stacey
and
was the only regular that
price
you got to see
gouging
today.
that drives up
Everybody else
everyday
got fucked.
production costs. Simply put, this is about protecting.
Okay, you notice now what they've done? So they've taken away the phone comment, the telephonic comments completely. Right? That's gone. Okay? So now they've forced you to come into the chambers. So now you say, okay, well, fuck it. I want to be heard. I'm going to go into the chambers. Right? So you now go into the chambers. You got to sign up as like some fake name or whatever so they'll actually call you and be lucky to call you. So funny how the randomizer didn't pick any regulars other than Stacy. Shout out to the randomizer. Okay? So now they're just going to pigeonhole public comment within the chambers to whoever they like and want. Get in an hour, and they said they can't say they didn't take it because they took it, and they'll never be heard again. They've completely silenced these people. Again, because they're communists. They don't understand, people's rights. Well, I'll rephrase that. They do understand the rights. They want to shape it the way they want to shape it. They're shaping the narrative by their policy making. I'll leave it at that. It's probably the best way to say it. Their policies are shaping how you talk about things, when you talk about things, when you're heard. They don't even listen to you. But wait a minute. You can write in. If you think they're fucking reading these emails, I got another thing coming. See how they did that? And that's communist shit. It's their way or the highway. We don't want to hear what you have to say. Okay? And I hope they all, each and every one of them, sue the city and take more of our money. I hope they each get $1 million. Spindler, 3-inch Shrimp, Mr. Herman, all of them. Not that I agree with what they say. I don't, most of the time. I think it's funny, but I don't agree with it because, again, I'm not hurt by the words. People come in here all the time and say bad things to me. I'm not hurt by the words. What I'm angered by is their disruption of the room. That's it. So don't confuse the two. Because when they disrupt the room, it bothers you guys too. Okay? So that's the difference. And but you see me, I let it go. You guys see, I let them spam a little bit. I don't just do it the first time they say it. So these folks are terrible, man. They just they get paid to hear you and they don't even give a fuck. And then they only allow you what they allow you to do. So, sad deal, man. It really is, It's really a fucking sad thing. And that's why this city will turn into a bigger shithole. It'll be a toilet during the Olympics. It'll be a sure toilet for the World Cup. And I hope it's that way. I hope the city gets torn a new asshole by every media company around the world. Goes viral, showing all the encampments and the garbage and everything else. So they can see all these DEI hires and what they do and what they get done. And that's it. The DEI puppets, everything they touch goes to shit. Nothing they do has ever turned to gold. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Not in this city or any other. Yes, these are county workers. TC, these are county workers. Not city. Jesus. They're angered. They ain't getting a munsey. They want some more cash. You know how it is, man. The McDonald's folks got $20 an hour, so you know they gonna ask for more. More money, more money, more money. Everybody want more money. Next thing you know, you're gonna have to get a wheelbarrow to carry your cash around to buy a fucking hamburger. Just let you know. Yeah, there's still a lot. I mean, you want to listen to them while we watch this, I guess.
About the mass jobs that we are losing out of the city of Los Angeles, where we have some of the most iconic streets and landscapes and sets anywhere in the world. And this is an industry that is absolutely fundamental to our identity as Angelenos. And I want to be clear, I live in an IATSE household, and we have been
not in the house, Dayton. Stinks up the house too much, man.
Consistently impacted.
I'm not trying to blow out the whole house
pandemic.
for a fucking joint.
It is so incredibly urgent that we continued this
Went
fight
to the Deftones
to
shows.
keep production
All
right
that
here in
blazed
the
was
city
joint.
of Los Angeles. I am fighting to bring it to the west side, to keep it on the west side, where 1 in 5 of my constituents work in your business. We got to do this, guys, and I'm really, really honored to rise and offer my support for this, and I urge an I vote from everyone. Thank you so much.
Councilwoman Padilla.
What's
followed by
bizarre about
Councilwoman
it, RC?
Rodriguez.
You know, I very much agree with what Councilwoman
Very much
Nazarian
agree,
just said.
eh?
You know, I really wish you didn't have to be here, right? I'm somebody who attended the Stay in LA rally that happened just recently. It was held in my district.
It is
and I wanted
catnip,
to make
it's
sure that I
sad.
was part of that conversation because
all
I represent
banks.
a district that is
All
filled
the
with what I
tallest
call the blue collar jobs of Hollywood. And growing up with a lot of individuals that made it into that industry who love to, when you hang out with these workers, they're not the sort of workers that really want to have a conversation about the politics. At least they never were in my world. It was always about talking about creative things, fun things, cool things, the awesome things that make our city. So when a few years ago, everyone started to worry and start to talk to me about how
They do look
Los
like ants,
Angeles and
man.
California hasn't
It
done
looks like
its
that
part
game where
to
it's like
help this
one person
workforce.
versus
I'm
a
very
million
angry.
zombies.
I'm equally angry
I don't know what
for
the game
you.
is, but
But
it's
you know,
like
similar
that.
to what I said
And you're like
at the
shooting
rally,
them, and they just keep
I ask
coming. You have to
continue
back up
hold
because they're
us
coming too
accountable
fast.
at all levels of government to make sure that we stop politicizing your jobs, because it has been politicized. I vividly remember being an early young advocate in my 20s and hearing state leaders say, we renew the tax credit at the state of in Sacramento every 2 years so that it lines up with elections and we could take the credit. Incredibly inappropriate when we know that some of the productions that you guys do can take up to 2 to 5 years to create an amazing movie. But we want to say that we're only going to give you a tax credit for 2 years? I'm sorry, but you should demand more. To me, 5 years at the Sacramento level with the bills that are at the table is still too little. If we really want you to stay here, we should be able to give you tax credits for up to 10 years. And on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, it's why I also wanted to incorporate an amendment where we ask ourselves, why is our hit so big that we have limited some of the locations where we can film? And instead what we need to do is make sure that when your creative producers and whatnot want to utilize the city of Los Angeles, that we make it easier for you to use our locations or give you alternatives as opposed to making it harder. So please count on me as someone that is here, definitely as an I vote, and I am really ready, sick, and tired of your jobs becoming politicized. Let's keep Hollywood, and let's continue to make sure that it doesn't go to other states. Thank you.
Councilwoman Rodriguez.
Luka
Thank you,
Doncic
colleagues, and I
donates
just wanted to
5K
rise
to
and join
restore
you in your
vandalized
support
Kobe
of
Bryant
this
mural.
important
They
work.
dissed
And I wanna
Kobe,
thank
huh?
you
Who
all
did
for
that?
showing up today. But colleagues, it's not just about how we reduce the fee structures and how we really look at some of the hindrances that we have
No,
here
these are
just with
county
respect
workers,
to
Allison.
procedurally how they schedule this
These
work.
are county workers.
The reality is
not
that our
city
very
workers.
own street infrastructure oftentimes can be an impediment to how we actually avail those filming opportunities in Los Angeles. And we have to make sure
least that's what it was
that
billed
when
as.
we are identifying policies that are going to basically
Yeah, it even
tie
says it
our
right there. Look at under the word workers.
to
They have the
what we are
banner. It
forced
says
to
LA County
finance
workers.
in terms of our street reconstruction efforts, that oftentimes we are going to very
Kings, go,
we are
Mike.
going to
Let's hope we
impede the
can win
very
tonight.
industry that we
Need
are
to.
looking to keep here in Los Angeles.
Have to.
So I say this
This is
with
do or
respect to
die.
it not just being about the permit fees. It's about everything that we do here in the city. That we're either going to create a more hospitable environment that looks like the streets of New York or the streets of Los Angeles, and actually they're able to film here because we create this environment that allows them to film as if they are in any other part of the world. The more we the more we change the streetscape of Los Angeles, frankly, the more we impede our ability to create this environment that is hospitable to filming
Yeah,
in
there's
Los
1,600 in the
Angeles. So
city,
it's not
though. You're
just
right,
in our
that are about to
fee
get laid off.
restructuring. It's all of the above. That we have to
1,600.
continue to understand that the decisions that we make here around this horseshoe are not just about tax credits.
Well, how many
It's
people
about
would you say
making
this is,
sure
guys?
That we don't create
This has to be at
obstacles
least
to
three
further
grand.
filming on the streets of Los
a
Angeles.
lot of people,
and that
dude.
is critically important. I want to thank you all for being here because this industry
Maybe
is
more.
not just about
Tom, you
your
watching? Anybody
jobs.
watching from
It's
their
about
unit?
how we continue
What do you
to
guys
finance
look
the
at this
existence
crowd
of
and estimate
restaurants
it
in
as?
this city. When you are financially
Gil, you watching?
able to patron and the dollars stay here in Los Angeles, the stronger our local economy is. And for that, I continue to remain supportive.
Air unit
I
will
wanna
always
thank, I
give
see some
crowd
residents
estimates
from my district
to the
here.
ground
Very proud to
below,
have
so
a very strong
I think they have a good guesstimation.
population of IATSE
I think
members
it's
in my
10K,
district, and of course,
2,500,
members.
2 to 4, 4 grand.
Thank you guys for being here.
Not
Let's
100,000
continue to work
people.
together, particularly as I'm seeing more development of studios come to my district and Ms. Padilla's district. We are eager to see those studios
3 to
filled
5,
with your
8K,
continued activity. Let's keep
5 to
filming
10,
in Los
1
Angeles. Thank you.
million, 1,000,000, 4,200. I say it's 3782.
All right, we have a strong agreement. Let's confirm that
Called
with a vote. Seeing no other speakers on the queue, let's open the roll.
80,000. It's the US Festival.
Close the roll, and unanimously tally the vote.
Only time we get shit like that is for like NASCAR.
This item is adopted as amended.
NASCAR.
All right, this item is agreed to. Okay, what's before us next? All right, what's next before us? I believe items 2.
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 2, 36 through 39, 41, 43,
Public what?
and 46 through 49.
Public sector jobs.
Okay. Seeing no speakers on the queue, let's open the roll.
Is there a banana? Someone dressed as a
Close
banana
the
there?
roll. Tally the votes.
I think there was. Kike's there. The
15
banana
ayes.
suit.
Mr. President, there's a request to send items 46, 47, and 48 forthwith.
Okay, without objection, so ordered.
Fourth.
Next item.
The council may now consider item 15, called special by Councilmember Jurado, for which substitute motions 15A, Jurado Hut, and
Order's back
15B, Jurado Bloomfield, have been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
Okay.
Well, these are all legal folks.
Mr. Jurado,
right
for what
there.
purpose do you rise to speak?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to
They
withdraw
can't get no
15A
county job
and move
without that.
15B.
They're not supposed to be
15B
hiring
simply removes the
illegal
first
migrants.
recommendation from 15A.
Illegal aliens.
I would urge an aye vote on 15B.
Great.
Mr. President, please note 2 votes are required. The first vote is to substitute the item with.
There's a lot of
substitute
fucking
motion
people, though.
15B, Jurado Bloomfield.
Okay, yeah. And just to be clear, this continues the item, but it puts the request to the city attorney and has them move forward that request, but it does not bring the item back to committee for rehearing at the moment. Okay, so the first vote is for reconsideration, is that correct?
It's actually a question whether to substitute.
Okay, question to substitute. Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll.
So I'm saying
Close the roll.
DW.
Tally the vote.
15 ayes.
Okay.
The second vote is to adopt substitute motion 15B, Jurado Bloomfield.
Okay, on the substitute motion, let's open the roll. Close the roll.
Travel guy,
Tally the
thank
vote.
you again for the huge dono. Happy
15
Taco
ayes.
Tuesday.
Okay, measure is adopted. What's next?
The council may now vote on item 35, called special by
Yeah,
Councilmember
no, they got the
Hernandez
shaft.
for a separate
They
vote.
can't talk.
Okay.
He didn't get to speak.
Seeing no members on the queue, let's open the roll.
They all did. Mr. Herman didn't get to speak. 3 and Shrimp.
Close the roll.
Mr. Spindler. Who else?
13 ayes, 1 no.
Andrew Gravener. He didn't get to speak.
Next item.
All
The
4 of
council
them.
may
at
now
least.
vote on item 40, called
as far
special
as
by
the regulars
Councilmember
are
Jurado
concerned.
and Soto Martinez for a separate vote.
They weren't
Okay,
picked
no speakers on the queue. Let's open
by the
roll.
randomizer.
Close the roll. Tally the vote.
12 ayes, 2 no.
The randomizer. I want to
what's
see
that?
that randomizer.
Council may
I
now
want
consider
Daniel
item
Gus to do
12,
a whole
called special
story
by
and
Councilmember
sue them and
Jurado
win all
for
kinds of money
which an amended
over them
motion
not
12A,
showing us the
Jurado Hernandez
randomizer.
has been introduced,
Having to
circulated,
prove
and
that it's
posted on the
real.
bulletin board.
Okay.
And have a public record of
Seeing no
each
speakers on the queue,
randomization.
let's,
I want to see it. It should be
we open the vote
it should
on
be
the-
made
as
public
amended or
record.
on the amendment first?
I want to see the machines
amended,
fixed.
Okay. Let's open the roll on.
You better be
the
showing
item
me the
as amended.
fucking Whopper you're using, man. I want to see it.
Close the roll.
Probably old like the Whopper too and shit.
Okay. What's next?
It's like an old
Council may now
Xerox
consider
machine.
item 24, called special by Councilmember Park, for which amending motion 24A,
Motherfucker's been-
Park Lee, has been introduced,
It's been
circulated,
converted
and
from a
posted on the
Xerox
bulletin board.
machine to a randomizer.
Can vote on that as amended.
I can see it, bro.
Seeing no speakers on the queue, let's open the roll.
Greetings, Professor Falcon.
14 ayes.
Okay. What's next?
The council may now consider item 42, called special by Councilmember Lee, for which amending motion has been introduced to
It's
change
a
the
whopper.
date to May 10th, 2025. Please note a second is needed.
Second. Okay. Can we vote on it as amended?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's vote on it as amended. Open the roll. Close the roll. Tally the vote.
4 ayes.
Okay.
The council may now consider item 44, called special by Councilmember Bloomfield, for which amending motion 44A, Bloomfield Hut, has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
Okay. Let's vote on it as amended. Let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tally the votes.
They're fed up, Mr. Classic. They're fed up with the county.
The council may now vote on item 14,
Not
called
meeting their
special by
demands, I
Councilmember Price
believe.
for recusal.
Okay. We will wait for we'll take Mr. Price off the board. Wait for him to exit the
They're
room.
angry. And they want their ends. All right.
Smoke.
Oh shit! What do we got? Look! Look! We got a dance. What's the thing going? Oh man, it's the same folks. They was over here,
13 ayes.
bro. We melded
What's next?
the workers with the whole
Council may
movement
now
last
consider item
time.
50, which is
Was
a
doing the
closed
line
session item
dancing.
waived by the Budget and Finance Committee.
Bro.
Please note a motion
See, that
is
doesn't
required
help
to
legitimize your
adopt any
shit.
recommendation.
Having guys doing donuts on their little motorcycles
prepare the room for
and
closed
line
session.
dancing. Just for the people that are watching and trying to get their
Sergeants, if you
cause
could prepare
across
the
to
room
be
for closed
other
session.
folks.
So that means anyone
That
who
doesn't
is-
scream to me legitimacy. Like that's not what if you're serious. I mean,
What's that?
it just seems like you want to party, and I get it. I understand. I get it. You just want to party. So I guess that's it. They're done for the day. They've screwed everybody, and that's that.
taking up in open session.
Wait, what's going on?
Councilwoman Yaroslavsky.
Thank you. B&F committee waived consideration of closed session item 50.
So did
I
they
recommend
start a whole new
approval of this item.
session?
Thank you.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
And if I may, sir, read the settlement.
Uh-oh, let's read the
In
settlement.
the case entitled Boyd Fire Subrogation Cases, Victor Aguirre et al. Versus Steve S. Lee et al., there is a recommendation to accept the proposed settlement of $3.25 million to be paid to the city.
Oh, to be paid to the city. Okay. Finally, we get some money back, but I'm sure you'll squander it.
The council may now vote on this matter.
Okay, anyone wish to
I
speak
heard
on this
the
item?
donor, but I don't see.
Seeing
Oh,
none,
Mahoney.
let's open
Thank
the
you,
roll.
Mahoney. Is there any chance you will go to the Cypress
Close the
Hill
roll.
show
Tally
at
the
the
votes.
California State Fair?
14 eyes.
So, be so
Okay, and now I
trying to
assume
do
we
a
go to
live
closed
show.
session?
Yeah, no, I
That is
can't do
correct, sir,
that.
for item 16.
Okay,
Mahoney.
Sergeant, sorry about the misstep there, but if we
Sony
could
Music
go to closed
wouldn't
session
wouldn't
now.
like it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You know, they own the catalog,
Spindler,
Cypress
Mr.
Hill's
Herman waving
catalog.
Goodbye, so we'll
Get in trouble.
politely wave goodbye to them. Goodbye. But you waved goodbye, you got to leave.
Okay, so yeah, I probably won't be going, but enjoy the show. I'm sure it'll be a good one. They put on a great show, tons of hits. So yeah, I haven't been to a Cypress show in years. Maybe like trying to remember the last one. Maybe 4 years ago? Something like that. It's been a while. I mean, remember, you got to remember, like, for the last 4 years before a year ago, I couldn't get into these places. Like, even if they had a concert, I couldn't go see my friends because I didn't have a knee-bending card. So I wasn't able to get into certain places, like venues. And you got to remember, what's that company? Fucking... damn it. There's a company that's huge. I'm trying to remember their name. They own most, if not all of the venues. And they set a precedence where, you know, you had to be, you know, masked up and have a card to get in and all that crap. So I just didn't go. And then after it stopped happening, I just haven't gone. So yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the company. They're taking off. They taking off. Maybe he's moving. I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. Live Nation. Thank you, Stella. Thank you. And thank you, Hispanic Mechanic. Thank you. Live Nation. So all my friends that were, you know, workers, whether it be in the bands or, you know, being in tech, you'd have to bend the knee if you wanted to work at those venues, which is most of them. Okay? Live Nation owns all of them pretty much. So at least all the big venues you're going to go to. So I'm no different. I'm not a special guy. If I want to go in there and see them, whether it's with them or anybody, you know, in the general admission with the public or with them, the band that's playing, either way, I would have had to do, you know, show my card and all that crap, and I never had it. Most of my friends, you know, took the shot and had to work. They just had to work. They don't have any other choices. They needed to work. Some of them did not, and those ones didn't work. They didn't work for years. Now they're back to work. So that's really how it works. I mean, I told you, I haven't been to the Dodgers game, Dodger Stadium since Game 7 World Series against the Astros when we lost. I haven't been back since. I mean, that left a nasty taste in my mouth. Then all of a sudden, a year or so later, fucking what do you call it happened? The shamdemic. So again, I couldn't get in for years. And everyone's like, well, why don't you just buy a card? Well, I think that's knee bending. And see, now that they're all squished together, so you can see a better grouping of that. There's no way that's 10,000 people. That's a lot of people, no doubt. That's thousands, but I would venture it's between 3 and 5, not 10 or more for sure. It's barely one block that's filled to capacity. ICE agents. Kobe, these are all county workers. The county can't be hiring people that are illegal. Everybody you see here is legal. Just to let you know. Those are legit folks. They're legit. They're legit. So, yeah. Dodgers payroll's $1 billion. Damn near. But Dodgers can afford it. You know why? Because they sell more tickets than any team in all of baseball. That's why. That's why. They sell the most tickets. Police chase suspect in a tree in San Antonio. That's awesome. And where's he going to go? He's up in the tree. What's he doing? What's he thinking? Cuckoo bird. You cuckoo bird. You up in a tree. Yeah, I don't see it. That's crazy. A lot of folks, though, no doubt. Guess because their demands haven't been met. The county has not fulfilled their side of the bargain. That's what I'm guessing. So these folks are angry. It's all I can gather. I don't know. I'm not a county worker. I see it's like a pep rally. They got the hype man over there. They got the stake bed truck with the fucking sound system on it. Trust me, man. This is all planned out. We ready, man. We coming for them strong. It's like they got their own security holding the line. The yellow vests. Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line! Oh, man, I love LARPing. Shit is fun. I mean, I can't lie. I LARP as a cop all the time. I mean, here. Just so we're clear, only LARP as a cop here, not anywhere else or any other time in my life.
The one you're on now? Roger, thank you. Roger.
Wouldn't answer what, Kevin? Did I miss something? Right on me. Talking to me?
Roger.
David, I love you, man, but why do you call it a shamdemic? My mother died from COVID. Why are you against the shot? Well, because the shot was... I know that there's no way anybody with half of normal IQ would realize that you can't create a vaccine of any kind that fast. You just can't. 2, the first thing they told you is, hey, all you need to do is wash your hands really good and self-quarantine. I'm sure you remember all of that. And here we are. Everybody called me a anti-vaxxer and a super spreader and this, that, and the other. And here we are years later. And it's proven that that shot did nothing. If anything, it killed people. Okay? And I highly doubt she died of COVID. You know, again, it is the cold and flu season. There are things called colds. That still exists. Pneumonia is a real thing. Okay? Then if you had pneumonia, it was deemed the other shit. That's why I call it a shamdemic, because it was a sham from beginning to end. It was about selling masks they knew did not work. Okay? You ask 3M. 3M tells you the N95 mask. Well, why do they call it the N95? Because it stops 95% of the particulate in the air. It's telling you that still 5% gets through the mask. Okay, but yet they sold a ton of that. How much Purell did they sell? If anything, Purell is making it worse. What does Purell do? It's going to end up drying your skin out because you use so much of it. It's alcohol-based. Alcohol dries quickly. Then your skin's cracked and open. You'd be more susceptible because your hands are the places that you touch and then touch your face, and you usually end up getting what's called a cold. That's why, sir. And again, my condolences to you and your family. It's no disrespect to her or him. Okay? I think it was your mother. I'm sorry. You know? But this is where if you died of a stroke, you didn't die of a stroke. It was deemed something else. To bump the numbers, to make it seem like it's worse than it is. Oh my God, look at all the trucks lined up, the refrigerated trucks, but you never saw inside of them. I could line up a bunch of trucks, tell a helicopter to come by, film it. Oh my God, and then start the fake hysteria. Same with the mass graves. I mean, come on, man. This is all a show. That was all a show for you. It was proven. Where's Fauci now? Where's that guy now counting your cash? Okay? And the reason I call it that is because I'm still angry over 4 years of my life not being able to do things that I should have been able to do because I didn't fucking knee bend. And I have the right to be angry. I missed, engagements of certain parties, of certain, in my family that, once in a lifetime parties. You know what I'm trying to get at? Because I couldn't go into the hall because the hall had you had to be vaccinated bullshit. Okay? This is all proven shit. I'm not just talking out of my ass. And if you go back on my YouTube 4 years ago and hear me being ostracized, telling you from the jump that it's going to be this way. And then here we are 4 fucking years later, 5 years later, and here it is. How many people were forced and lost their jobs, and we hear them crying for the crumbs every day in the LA City Council because they don't have any money. Why don't they have money? Because they're the workers who had worked at these businesses that they forced to close down over nothing. Over fucking nothing. And they arrested you if you tried to open your business. So now here we are. Again, a business owner can stay afloat a little longer. It's going to hurt him just like it hurts you. Okay? But they can stay afloat a little longer. These people are literally paycheck to paycheck, don't have much left over. They're barely treading water. So when you force close the business they work at, it's going to hurt them quick. I'm not just thinking about me. Okay, they were putting those people that had colds or pneumonias on these the ventilators. If they were putting you on the ventilator, you were dead. That was it. They were trying to kill you. Okay? And that's what it was. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care what's happened. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not here to be angry or mean with you about who you've lost. But I'm trying to tell you, everything of what I just said was absolutely true, and that's unfucking-sputable. Okay? It's been proven. It's been proven. And like I said, go back and watch me talk about this when it was all going on. Watch me be sad as fuck when you're hearing all the radio traffic of all these suicides, one after the next, because people were literally offing themselves because they really thought that we're coming, like it's a real world pandemic and I'm just going to die anyways. And bro, I'd never heard that many. We're getting 10 or 12 a show when you normally get 2 or 3. Okay, how many domestic disputes went up because people were forced to stay inside? When I have a family of 5 or 7 and we're living in a small place, normally everybody's at work. So for us to all be home, that's only on Christmas or Thanksgiving or something. New Year's maybe, right? Now I'm forced to not work, be angry, at home, and it's causing conflict between my own family. One doesn't want to take the shot, the others did. They're pointing fingers at that one. Oh, I'm getting sick because of you. Blah, 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 blah. Everyone was an online fucking virologist. Every nurse and doctor you knew became a virologist. There's a reason why you have a fucking field of study. Okay, my head hurts. I don't go to the proctologist. Okay, that's the ass doctor. My ass hurts. I'm going to go to the proctologist. Okay? My ass hurts. I'm not going to the podiatrist. Do you understand? There's a field of fucking study. Doctors don't just know everything. Trust me, most of them don't know anything. They all know what they've learned in a book for 8 years. Now they're trying to pay off their student loans by hooking you on all kinds of medication. Big Pharma. They're the drug dealer for Big Pharma. Big Pharma's the cartel. They give it to the drug dealer. The drug dealer gives it to you. Boom.
65 LAPTC ortho.
Boom. So, yeah. Here we are. Okay? And I've had my life, a lot of my life stolen from me because of that. And I won't forget it. And here, in the state I am at, in this shithole, California, okay? We were held down longer than anybody else in the entire nation. We were locked down the longest. What's up, Richard? It was good to see you. Like seeing the Cup jersey. You know, and that's just how it works. These people got hurt the most. That's it. Zero lies detected. I mean, I'm just being honest, man. I lived through it. Lived through it, eh? And it's a sad deal. And you knew there was a ripple effect, and here's the ripple effect years later. And it's only going to get worse. And now they're, want to give everybody more money, which I understand, but then you're killing the economy. You can't have people flipping burgers for $25 an hour and not expect a $15 Big Mac. It just isn't happening. So if you want to give them that money, then that's how that's going to be. It's I don't know how you revert. I don't know if there is. Maybe it's a thing where like the water, the floodgates have opened. You're not bringing the water back. So, yeah, man, it's bullshit. And that's, I guess, full circle. Well, I call it a shamdemic or a plandemic. Okay, all their buddies made great money. Made billions upon billions. While everybody fucking got hurt. All the people that make everything run every day got hurt. And even the business owners and everything else, all the landlords that got gypped out of all the money because people couldn't pay their rents. You think those landlords got their money? No. You think every landlord owns fucking their property? No. Wells Fargo or fucking Bank of America, those companies own your property. And they'll be happy to have you miss the payments. So that way all the money that you did spend in, you paid for half of it. Thanks, sucker. Then they'll sell it to their developer buddy. They're angry at the little business owner. That little business owner puts 10 people to work. Those 10 people have now families that can eat thanks to that one business cafe owner who was forced to close over nothing. Could have been just, hey, You want to come in? Come in. You don't? You don't. At least give me the chance. Because either way, I'm paying for the electricity, the water, and the insurance and everything else. The trash collection. Like, come on. It's crazy. And there was people literally getting arrested. The dude in Burbank got arrested for opening his business. Okay? People protesting outside, calling him a super spreader. Don't think I'll ever forget, because I won't. I won't. And that, again, is why it was a scam, sham, plandemic. That's what it was. I wouldn't believe anybody's numbers of millions of people. Did you count them? Of course not. So they could tell you any number, and you'd fucking believe it. Come on, man. You can't be so one-sided. You got to look at the apple from every angle, and you got to have a bullshit meter. I mean, the day they told you all you had to do is wash your hands and self-quarantine, you should have the bell should have been dinging off in your head. Ding 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 bullshit. Ding 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 bullshit. Huh? It's super deadly, and all I got to do is stay in the house and wash my hands? Okay. Fuck. It's simple to see, man. It's fucking simple to see. And a lot of people are just glued to the bullshit media who lies to you constantly. So, allow and listen to the bullshit, I guess. I'm no one to tell you what you're going to do. But that's it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's what I'm saying. My bullshit meter just went off. 6 feet apart. That's it. Just put a piece of plastic in front of me. But that's going to stop it. Like the germs wouldn't go through the air and over to the other side. Got it. I mean, it's just terrible. Everything about it was just nothing but a lie. Everything about it. There was nothing truthful about it. What's sad is, though, you had so many people in the medical communities just backing these people blindly and then pushing the narrative. And they learned. A lot of people were injured from those things. And whether they were injured physically from what chemical that was in some of that, or they were or mentally, you know what I mean? Or monetarily. Okay, they were forced to be out of work. All that money's missed. You don't just make that money back. It's not like someone said, okay, well, you missed 3 weeks. I'll just pay you for the 3 weeks we weren't open. They can't do that. Nobody can afford to do that. Uh-oh, we're closing it down now. The climate fucking closers. Dude, look at it. There's more photographers than there are protesters. Photo opping. That's photo opping, baby. That's photo opping, baby. Yeah. BLM second wave. Good job. Oh, man. So, yeah. All the people that pushed it, the big ones, you don't hear a peep out of any of them. And again, there's so many people that were brainwashed that you still see wearing masks. You see Andrew Graebner every day with his mask on. I guarantee you didn't see him before. In 2018 and prior, you never saw Andrew Graebner wearing a mask. And now he wears one every day. And you can hear him. He's got like breathing problems. The dude's in shape. Thin as a rail. Tall and thin. Shouldn't have any problems or issues with breathing, but you can hear it. It happens when you're breathing your own fucking carbon monoxide. I mean, it's a filter, right? Your nose is filtering it out. Breathe it in with your mouth. Your nose filters it out. I don't know, man. I just think people have changed. Those people are lost. Like, they're never coming back. Think of them as being a zombie that got bit. And they're never coming back. They're legitimate zombies, and they're not coming back. You may love them. We all might have one in our family. Just saying. Like they're not coming back. CO2, baby. All right, yeah, I'll do one more. That's it. I'm done. 'Cause I gotta go. I got eBay, man. Don't you know I got a second job to do? Oh, motherfuckers need their baseball cards. Medical reasons. Well, again, if you're somebody who's what do you call it? Susceptible to getting things, I understand that. But most folks aren't wearing that. And I get it. Like, in Asian countries, a lot of times when they're sick and they have to go to work, they'll wear one, to not get others sick. It makes sense. I get that. Because you have to go to work. I get it. You can't miss. You don't want to spread. So it'll help you not spread the germs as much. Will it stop it completely? Of course not. We know that. The company tells you that. What does that say right there? Pinch E5. Poncho? What does that say? Does that say poncho? It says poncho. Am I tripping? PANCHO. All right, everybody.
Smoke.
The last one, man. This is the last.
Final round.
Are they trucked in? I'm assuming they're bussed in. I mean, how could all these people just roll up in here? I'm assuming they have got like Greyhounds or whatever kind of buses. It says poncho, right? Right, Banana? I mean, that's what I think it says. Poncho? Like Pancho Villa. At least they picked a day it's not too hot. And at least most of them are in the shade of the building. Rancho? What does Rancho stand for? I mean, it's close. Poncho, Rancho. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just not seeing it. That's an R and not a P. Could totally be. You're sending me a question of what, Moxie? Send it. Everybody getting their steps in today. $2025 what, Jose? Oh, you're saying it? This is welcome to 2025? Yeah, 2025, bro. It's been a trip. And I'll tell you what, it seems like it's going by pretty quick. I don't know about for you guys, but for me, it seems like, man, I just blinked and we're already 4 months in. What do you mean they don't use the streets anymore? I don't get it, Florida. They're in the street. Oh, you mean the cars? Yeah, LAPD blocks it off. See right there, you can see the parking enforcement under the bridge there. They block it off so people can't get run over. Some crazy fool come in there with a car. You've seen it happen. Some old man did it like 15 years ago in Santa Monica. They had like one of those farmer markets where it's just one street, everybody's selling goods, swap meet style kind of thing. And man, this dude stepped on the gas instead of the brake and plowed down a bunch of people. Fuck. And went for an entire block plowing people down before he crashed and stopped. Oh, man. So that happened in Santa Monica, and now people sued the city for not having like barriers up. So then they installed these big concrete barriers so you could only go one way on that street now, kind of thing, and then they do it on that street only. So crazy. Crazy, 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 man. Well, if the power grid goes down anywhere, I'm sure it would not be good for anywhere, including here. Rare eclipses all 2025. So we're gonna get like an asteroid just take us out, put us out of the fucking misery. What's happening now? They're just standing around, I guess, pep rallying. The dude on the truck's probably talking. Maybe people are they bought those pallets of water, so maybe because they've been marching, people are kind of resting for the moment, getting a water, sitting in the shade, 'cause it's still a little warm out there, probably 70, 75. What happened in Canada, but it was not Canadian? Please don't confuse. What are you talking about, Mr. Veritas? What you talking about? The Canadian truckers? I do. I'll never forget that because of Autowalks. Shout out to Autowalks. Never seen anybody go from seriously like 1,300 subs to 113,000 subs in 1 week. Maybe less than a week. Maybe less than a week. What took me 6 years took that dude a week. Oh, that's fucking great. That's great. But I don't know. He might have been on a few years before that too. You struggle. It's it's hard to get subs up. No way, Terry. What it was, Terry, is he was the very first one to start filming them in Ottawa, because he'd walk around the city normally. That's what Ottawalks is, you know what I mean? He'd show you all the nice sights. So he went down there, walked, and he was the first one on YouTube to fucking film it. And then the story blew up. You know what I mean? The story just blew up fucking nationwide, then worldwide. And that was it. And he, like I said, next thing you know, like 3-4 days in, you saw all these other people, because they saw him, how he just blew up. All the other people went out with their phones. They're like, fuck, I could walk and do this on my phone. And then next thing you know, it was crazy. You'd see like 7-8 streamers walking back and forth the lines. And it got crazy, just like anything else. You see somebody's success and you're like, well, I could do that. So you grab the idea yourself and see if you can do it better. So I think that's really what it was. It just, that's what it is. If you're at something really big and you throw your phone on, you're the first up. Yeah, people will, and you're the only one then for at least the first day or so. Oh boy, you're gonna get crazy. You'll go from nothing to through the roof like that. No, these are county workers. They're angry that their demands haven't been met by the county of Los Angeles. Although they're in the city of Los Angeles, which is funny. But they are county workers. They work for the county, doing many different things, whatever they do. Working at a courthouse or working in the park system or whatever, who knows. Various jobs. Oh, you got a dono? You said a dono? Sam, sorry I missed it. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Guess they're done. Guess they done, son. I'll go back to this one. This is the older tape. Just finished this bag and I'm out. Because I got to see you guys soon anyways. Oh, shit. Dodger Stadium right there. Oh, boy. Good old Dodgers. Game today. Game today against the Marlins. Hopefully we can win. I mean, we barely won last night. We were up 5-0, I think. Gave up 5 runs, and then ended up winning 6-5 in the 10th. Jesus, Dodgers against the Marlins. Worst team in the AL East. Jesus. Bleezy, I don't stream cards really, because I know most people don't like to watch it. I used to do it on my Instagram or on X, Twitter. You know, I would do those. Because when I did it on YouTube, a lot of people just didn't like it. Man, I came for the police chases. I don't want to see you fucking open baseball cards. Fuck your baseball cards. So, that's really what it is. It would be fun to have like something separate maybe, and people come in, want to talk sports, smoke, open some cards. That would be fun. But again, buying cards nowadays is just it's a risky proposition, even more so because of the price. Prices are doubled on everything, and it was already hard enough to get value as it is. Now you're losing 80-90% of the time instead of losing maybe 60% of the time. So. They are NL East. Did I say AL? Sorry, they're NL East. If I said AL, my bad. They are definitely NL East. Without a doubt. I misspoke. You like box breaks? Yeah, they're fun, and I used to like to do it. Where's the dono? I don't see the dono. That's what I'm saying. You guys are saying... Hold on, Sam. I'm going to go back again. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Moxie is asking, where do you stream baseball, card hockey games? That's a Tuesday. Hopefully we get a chance. Sam, thank you so much. I'm sorry I missed that. Moxie, like I said, you know, I don't really stream them here. You know what I mean? And it would be fun to buy a box or two and open it live. But, man, there's just like nothing that's cheap. The boxes that were $90 are now $200. You know, the boxes that were $150 are now $350. It's like, man, that's like almost a guaranteed loss, you know? You know what I mean? At some point, people are going to stop opening packs unless the breaking community opens it all, which they will, but even they'll slow down. You know what I mean? No, Sam. Well, if I did, Sam, I definitely got sick during that time. I just, you know, stayed home. I don't know if I've ever had it. I never tested for it. I've never done that fucking test with the thing in your nose. I ain't doing none of that shit. I never had a job where it required that. Everything that I've talked about was all like personal. You know, whether I wanted to go to a Kings game or a Laker game or a Dodger game or somebody's, engagement, a party for a family member or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. And the hall wouldn't let you in. So, and I can't blame it on the hall because the hall was, you know what I mean, just trying to bend the knee to the city, who made it requirement. And that's, again, why I was angry. They forced people to do what they did. They didn't give people the choice. And it's funny how your body seems to matter when it comes to abortion, which I think it does. Everybody should have the right. I don't think you should use it as a tool for contraception, but I think you have the right because it's your body. Having said that, I then, too, should have the right to do with my body with what I want. I wasn't shamed. I was shamed because I didn't take a shot. By many people. Do you imagine being shamed because I didn't do an abortion? Are you doing that to a lady? Shame on you. I can't believe that. Do you imagine? Imagine the outlash or the outrage.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So it's funny how in one respect, it's okay. Your body isn't really your body. But when it comes to that, okay, your body is your body and you should have the choice. See how that worked there? I mean, I'm an idiot. I have a 67 IQ. Room temperature. And I can understand what went on. Apparently, it only matters when they say it matters. That's your tip of the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the likes, the love, the donos, the thumbs ups. They work and they are free. I will see you tonight at 8 o'clock for the Taco Tuesday Crime Wave Party. Until then, enjoy yourselves. I will see you in a little bit. On behalf of old Stink Bomb, who ain't here, and myself, I'll see you guys at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So adjust your time zones. Keep the notifications on in case we get chased before that. Have a good day.
This party is officially over.
Yeah, you guys. I'm going home.